Why does that person always appear in your mind? Why does a single memory, a single sentence, or a fleeting glance still live inside you like an echo trapped in the walls of your heart? You try to push it away, but it keeps returning, whispering, fear tightening your chest, fogging your thoughts, even as your body lies still in bed. It creeps in through silence, through darkness, through the spaces between thoughts. But tonight, you will meet fear differently. Not as an enemy, not as a monster to defeat, but as a visitor. And like all visitors, it has its time to stay and its moment to leave. The ancient teachings of Zen do not promise to erase fear from your life, but they do offer something gentler, deeper. They help you stop letting fear make a home inside you. Close your eyes. Let your breath fall into rhythm, slow and soft, in and out, in and out. Feel the weight of your body. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anyone. In this space, in this breath, you are allowed to simply be. Fear begins to lose its power when you stop giving it the title of truth. Because fear is not truth. It is a weather system in the mind. Sometimes it storms. Sometimes it's just a mist. But it is never the sky itself. You are the sky. Fear is only passing weather. Can you feel it now? This tiny shift, not the end of fear, but the beginning of seeing it. What you see clearly, you no longer have to fear. Breathe in. Let the fear come closer, just for a moment. What does it feel like? Where does it live in your body? Maybe it's in your chest, tight and aching. Maybe it pulses in your belly. Maybe it curls around your neck. You don't have to chase it out. You don't have to fix it. Just observe. That is enough. That is powerful. In the teachings of the Buddha, fear arises from delusion, mistaking what is temporary for what is permanent, what is imagined for what is real. But tonight, we will not argue with the fear. We will not try to convince it or erase it. We will bow to it. We will recognize it as a guest and gently show it the door. When a guest comes knocking, you may open the door, greet them, even offer tea. But you do not let them take over your home. You do not build them a bed in your heart. So now, picture your fear as a traveler. It carries a satchel of worries, a cloak of old pain, and it stands at your gate. You may nod. You may even say, "I see you." But then you breathe, and you remember you are not the house of fear. You are the host of awareness. And awareness holds everything with openness, without clinging, without aversion. That's the difference. That's the power. That's the beginning of transformation. Let your breath carry you further. Inhale slowly. Exhale gently. As the body settles, the mind begins to reveal its patterns. You might notice old thoughts returning, stories of danger, shame, regret. But they're just echoes. They have no power except the power you lend them. You are not those stories. You are not the frightened child of the past. You are not the prediction of catastrophe. You are this breath, this moment, this space of stillness. And in stillness, fear cannot nest. The Zen masters remind us what you resist persists, but what you allow transforms. Can you allow fear to be present without giving it the keys to your peace. Just notice it. Breathe with it. Be larger than it. You may even say softly in your mind, "Fear, I see you, but you are not me. This is not a battle. This is not war. This is a remembering, a returning, a turning of your face toward the sun of clarity and watching the shadows dissolve, not because you chased them, but because the light arrived." The Buddha once said, just as the great ocean has one taste, the taste of salt, so too, my teachings have one taste, the taste of liberation. Liberation begins here, not in the absence of fear, but in the willingness to see fear clearly, and yet not be consumed by it. Inhale deeply and release. Let your mind open like a window. Let the breeze of presence sweep through. Let the echoes grow faint. Let the visitors pass through. You are safe. You are held. You are already whole. Fear is a visitor. It knocks, but you do not have to answer. It speaks, but you do not have to believe. It lingers, but it never lasts. Trust this truth. Let it anchor you. Let it cradle you into sleep. Let each breath say what words cannot. You are home now. Breathe, and you return to the present. It's simple, isn't it? So simple that the mind often overlooks it, races past it in search of bigger answers, larger escapes, more permanent shelters. But you've tried all that, haven't you? You've run through your own mind like a person lost in a maze, always turning corners, always meeting new fears dressed in old disguises. And still, the only way out was never ahead of you, but here, underneath you, within you, through the quiet gateway of breath. Now, as your body lies still, as the world softens into shadows, I invite you to return, not to thoughts, not to memories, but to this inhale and this exhale. Let it guide you back. You've always had this compass. You've always had this thread of peace. Fear cannot fully live in a breath that is noticed, because breath is not about the future where fear projects itself. Breath is not about the past where fear plants roots. Breath is always now, and now is unshaken. When you breathe and truly feel it, you are no longer trapped in the spinning wheel of thought. You are the one watching the wheel turn. You become the witness, not the prisoner. You may feel the tug to follow your thoughts. Don't. Let them pass like fish in a stream. The stream is your breath. The watcher is you. You are not your thoughts. You are the space they pass through. Breathe again, gently, lovingly. Do not force, just allow. Feel the air touch the inside of your nose. Feel your chest expand. Feel the slow release. Let that release remind you that you do not need to hold everything. You do not need to carry all your questions into the night. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to just breathe. Sometimes the mind will argue. It will tell you there's danger. There's urgency, that something needs solving right now. But it's just a habit. It's a part of the mind doing what it has always done, mistaking movement for safety. But breath is a different safety. It's not the safety of escape or solution. It's the safety of presence. The safety of I am here. Fear pulls you into what might happen. Breath anchors you into what is. And in the what is right here, there is only softness, silence, simplicity. Let your jaw unclench. Let your shoulders drop. Notice how fear tenses the body, preparing for something that may never arrive. But when you breathe consciously, the body learns a new lesson. It doesn't have to prepare, it can trust. With each breath, you speak silently to every cell. You are safe now. With each breath, your body starts to believe you. That's the miracle of awareness. The Zen masters never shouted their teachings. They whispered them, not with words alone, but with presence, with the fullness of their own breath. One teacher would simply sit and hold up a flower saying nothing. The lesson was not in the petals, but in the stillness. You don't need complicated teachings. You need remembering. Remember the stillness within you that doesn't shake when fear shakes your surface. Return to the breath like returning to a trusted friend. Let your inhale embrace you. Let your exhale carry away everything you no longer wish to hold. No need to name your fears tonight. No need to understand them all. That work belongs to the daylight. This is the time of surrender. This is the temple of quiet. And your breath is the prayer that opens the door. In and out. In and out. Let the rhythm carry you deeper. Let it wash over you like a lullaby older than memory. Every breath is a doorway. Every doorway leads to now. And now is always softer than the mind imagines. Perhaps you feel a thought rising again, asking, "But what if?" Don't fight it. Smile at it. Then breathe. Don't follow. Just stay. Like sitting at the edge of a river watching leaves float by. The leaves are your thoughts. The water is your breath. You don't have to chase the leaves. You don't have to name them. Just watch. Just breathe. You'll notice slowly how much less power fear has when you stop obeying its voice. It doesn't disappear right away. It rarely does. But it softens. It loses shape. Like a shadow fading at dusk. Breath by breath, you remember your power. Not the power of force, but of presence. The kind of power that doesn't tremble, because it isn't built on control. It's built on trust. So, trust. Trust that this breath is enough. Trust that this moment can hold you. Trust that nothing more is needed right now than the rise and fall of your chest, the hush of your thoughts, the warmth of this space. You are breathing. You are here. And fear, no matter how loud it once seemed, cannot stay long in a home this quiet. Let it pass. Let it go. Let your breath be your homecoming. The illusion of control creates panic. It always starts with a small thought, almost harmless, almost helpful. If I could just fix this, or if only things go exactly as I plan. And suddenly, you find yourself tangled in the threads of 1,000 imagined futures, each one needing your full attention, each one demanding that you act, that you tighten your grip, that you hold on a little harder. But what if all of that gripping is the very thing that's causing the panic? What if the more you try to control, the more you slip away from peace? The mind craves control because it believes control means safety. It believes if it knows, predicts, prevents, then nothing bad will happen. But life, like water, refuses to be controlled. It moves where it moves. It bends around obstacles. It finds a way, but never in straight lines. And your fear, it blooms when you forget this. When you try to hold the wind in your hands. When you try to cage a river. You weren't made to manage every possibility. You were made to be here, present, responsive, awake, not in charge of the whole universe. So, as you lie here breathing, ask yourself, what am I trying to control? What am I afraid will happen if I don't? Maybe it's the behavior of someone you love. Maybe it's the outcome of something unfinished. Maybe it's the way others see you. Whatever it is, hold it gently in your awareness. Don't judge. Just see it. This is the heart of Zen, not fixing, not forcing, just seeing with clarity. And clarity frees you. When the Buddha taught about suffering, he called it the second arrow. The first arrow is life itself. Things happen. Pain comes. The second arrow is your reaction, resistance, fear, control. We can't stop the first arrow, but we can stop the second. We can stop stabbing ourselves with stories, expectations, imagined disasters. You don't need to plan every step. You don't need to anticipate every outcome. What if tonight you let go just a little? Let go of the wheel you were never meant to hold. Let go of the belief that your fear will keep you safe. Fear cannot stop what is meant to come, nor can it guarantee the arrival of what you long for. It only exhausts you. It only builds walls between you and the present. So breathe. Inhale and imagine your hands loosening their grip. Exhale and feel the tension melting away. You are allowed to surrender. You are allowed to rest in not knowing. The Zen path is not about certainty. It's about presence. It's about letting each moment unfold without your interference. Imagine a flower blooming, not because it planned every petal, but because it trusted the season, the soil, the sun. You too are allowed to trust. Let the tight places inside you unwind. Let your forehead soften. Let your chest open. Let your belly rise with the rhythm of breath, not fear. There is nothing you need to do right now, nothing to fix, nothing to control. Just be, just breathe. You may feel fear resisting this. It will whisper, but what if? It will tell you that letting go is weakness. But true strength is in surrender, not in struggle. True wisdom is knowing the difference between what is yours to hold and what was never yours to begin with. You don't have to catch every falling star. You don't have to hold up the sky. You are allowed to lay it down. Picture yourself by a river. You've been trying to redirect the current, to build dams and channels to command the flow. But now, you let go of the tools. You sit on the bank. You watch. You breathe. And you realize the river flows just fine without your effort. Life flows. Let it. You are not abandoning responsibility. You are abandoning the illusion that worry is a form of love, that control is a form of protection. You are choosing trust, and trust is what invites peace. Let this night be a ritual of release. Let every breath be a prayer of surrender. You don't need to know what comes next. You only need to be here. Let go of control and feel what returns your heartbeat, your softness, your breath, your true self. Nothing to fix, nothing to fear, just presence, just peace. You are not your thoughts. How strange that sounds at first, especially when thoughts have accompanied you for so long, whispering through every moment, shaping every choice, coloring every memory. But now, in the quiet of night, as you lie still, beneath the soft breath of sleep, you begin to notice something deeper, the gap between the thought and the one who observes it. That gap is where freedom lives. That space is your true self. Thoughts are not facts. They are not commands. They are not you. They are clouds across the sky of your mind, forming and dissolving, darkening and clearing, but never touching the sky itself. And you are the sky, infinite, unshaken, watching, feeling, but not bound. So let the thoughts come. Let them speak. Let them scatter and dance like autumn leaves in wind. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to fight them. You only have to watch. There is no need to believe every fear-laced whisper, every old story that tries to replay itself like an echo on loop. You've heard them before. You've tried to argue. You've tried to quiet them with logic distraction force. But now, you are invited to do something different, not to defeat the thought, but to step aside and let it pass. Inhale, exhale. A thought arises maybe about tomorrow, about a mistake, about someone's opinion. You feel your heart tighten, your body brace. And in that moment, instead of reacting, you pause. You whisper inside, "That is a thought. Just that. Not true, not false. Just a passing formation, a ripple in the mind, nothing more." And suddenly, like sunlight breaking through fog, you remember that thoughts have no power without your attention. They grow loud only when fed. They shrink when ignored. They fade when seen without fear. In Zen practice, there's a saying, "Let thoughts come and go. Just don't serve them tea." You can nod at the thought, smile even, but you don't need to entertain it. You don't need to make it comfortable. Let it visit and let it leave. Your mind is not a courtroom where every thought must be judged. It is not a battlefield where every thought must be fought. It is a sky, open, vast, silent beneath the noise. Each time you return to breath, you return to this silence. Each time you notice the thought and do not react, you become the observer again. And the observer is never afraid. Fear lives in the identified thought. I will fail. They don't love me. I can't do this. But the observer sees the thought for what it is. A flicker, a shadow, a voice without substance. Even the most terrifying thought is just sound in the wind when you see it from awareness. So, tonight, let the thoughts rise if they must. Let them circle overhead. You do not need to engage. You do not need to understand every one. This is not the hour for solving. This is the hour for surrender. Feel your mind soften. Feel your breath deepen. Let the words inside your head lose their grip. Just sound now. Just fading shapes. Just clouds drifting by. You are the witness. You are the stillness underneath. You've been the thinker for too long. Now it's time to be the space that holds the thought without becoming it. This is the heart of non-attachment. Not the absence of thoughts, but the absence of clinging. Let them pass. Let them fade. If they return, let them return as guests, not masters. You are not broken for having thoughts. You are not failing by feeling fear. You are simply remembering that you are more than what appears in your mind. You are the one who sees, the one who breathes, the one who rests beneath it all. Each breath takes you deeper. Each breath clears the sky a little more. Each breath returns you to yourself. Thoughts may come again in the morning. That is fine. Let them. But for now, let the night belong to silence. Let your mind rest in the rhythm of breath. Let your being return to the still lake of presence. You are not your thoughts. You are the space between them. And in that space, there is peace. Impermanence is the door to freedom. Everything changes. This is not a warning, but a mercy. And though the mind may resist it, grasping at what is fleeting, dreading what might be lost, the truth remains: nothing stays, nothing holds forever. And that is what makes peace possible. Look at the seasons. Even the longest winter softens into spring. The tightest bud eventually opens. The hardest grief eases with time. So, why do we believe that fear will be the one thing that lasts? Why do we give it a throne in our minds, build stories around it, and bow to its imagined permanence? Tonight, I invite you to look at fear through the lens of impermanence. Let your breath guide you gently there. Inhale, noticing the rise. Exhale, noticing the fall. The body moves, the chest expands and softens. Each breath arrives and leaves, and no breath has ever lasted more than a moment. And yet you survive each one. You continue. You change. Your body is always becoming. Cells die and are replaced. Skin sheds. Hair grows. Even now, as you lie still, you are not the same as you were a minute ago. How could fear remain untouched, frozen, fixed, when everything else moves? It can't. It doesn't. The only reason it seems to last is because we cling to it. But if we let go, it too must pass. The Buddha taught that all conditioned things are impermanent. Emotions, thoughts, circumstances, they arise based on causes and conditions, and when those conditions shift, they dissolve. Fear arises. Fear fades. This is the nature of all things, not because we fight them, but because they follow the law of change. Think of a storm. It may rage and howl. It may darken the skies, but it never stays. No storm has ever remained in one place forever. Eventually, the clouds part the winds. Still, the light returns. So too, with fear. Let yourself rest in that truth. Let your breath say it quietly with each exhale. This too will pass. When fear rises like a wave, you do not need to stop it. You do not need to outrun it. Just notice that it too has a crest and a fall. Watch it rise. Watch it break. Watch it return to stillness. And as you watch, something deeper awakens in you. Patience, calm, faith. The faith not in something outside, but in the nature of things, in the rhythm of life, in the way even pain softens when seen clearly. There is a story of a Zen master whose house burned down. When asked if he was afraid, he said, "Now I can see the moon more clearly." That is the heart of impermanence, not sorrow, not despair, but clarity. When something falls away, something else becomes visible. When fear melts, peace is revealed not because peace was created, but because it was always there, hidden beneath the weight of grasping. You may feel afraid of letting go, afraid that if you stop clinging, you'll be left with nothing. But look around you in your mind. The things you feared losing, how many of them were already changing? How many were never yours to keep? When we understand that nothing is truly ours to hold, we stop gripping. We start trusting. And trust is soft. Trust is quiet. Trust feels like lying under the stars and knowing the sky won't fall. Even grief, the deepest form of fear, grief over losing love, losing safety, losing time, it too passes. Slowly, sometimes painfully, but always. Because nothing remains untouched by impermanence. And that includes the things you fear most. Imagine now that your fear is a bird resting on your shoulder. You do not have to cage it. You do not have to chase it. Just sit, breathe, wait, and eventually it will take flight. It will return to the sky you have always been. The sky that does not panic when a bird appears. The sky that does not cling when it leaves. Impermanence is not the end. It is the rhythm. It is the dance of life. And when you dance with it instead of against it, fear dissolves. So breathe again. Gently. No need to rush. No need to know. Just feel the passing of breath. Feel the passing of thought. Feel the passing of fear. It cannot stay no matter how loud it seems now. And you are still here. You are still breathing. You are still becoming. Let the night carry you. Let change hold you. Let impermanence free you. Sit with the fear. Don't flee. That is the way of Zen. Not to fight. Not to run. Not to suppress. But to sit. To stay. To simply be with what is. Fear grows when we treat it like an enemy, something to banish or defeat. But it softens when we meet it like a guest acknowledging its presence without surrendering our peace. As you lie here now in the quiet dark, feeling the breath gently rise and fall, notice the places where fear lingers. Perhaps in your chest tight and cautious. Perhaps in your stomach swirling and unsettled. Or maybe it hides behind a thought, a shadowy what if that loops and repeats. Don't try to fix it. Don't try to make it disappear. Just sit with it. Like a candle in the center of a storm, your stillness becomes your strength. Breathe. Don't resist. Don't cling. Just notice. You are the witness. And the witness is never overwhelmed. When we sit with fear, we reclaim our power. Not the power to force change, but the power to see clearly. The Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree and faced every temptation, every fear, every illusion that Mara, the personification of doubt and terror, could summon. But he didn't run. He didn't argue. He simply said, "I see you, Mara." That's all. Recognition without entanglement. Awareness without collapse. And Mara faded not because he was defeated, but because he was seen. Tonight, let that be your practice. Say silently in your heart, "I see you, fear." No judgment, no urgency, no panic, just presence. When fear is named gently, it loses its sharpness. When it is held in stillness, it melts like ice in warm hands. Fear is often loud because it is afraid of being ignored. But the more you run from it, the larger it grows. Like a child who only wants your attention, fear becomes louder when left in the shadows. So invite it into the light. Sit with it as you would a friend who's trembling. You don't yell. You don't lecture. You simply offer your presence, your breath, your calm. The body understands this. When you stop running, your heart rate begins to slow, your shoulders release, your stomach unknots. The nervous system listens to your awareness and responds with relief. We're safe now, it says. There's no more fleeing. This is not easy at first. The habit of fleeing is strong. But each moment you stay just one more breath, you are creating a new path, a new rhythm, a new way of being with fear, one that transforms it. Because fear doesn't need to be fixed. It needs to be felt. It needs to be seen. It needs to be given space, not so it can grow, but so it can dissolve. Like fog in morning sun, you are that sun, you are that warmth. And fear, no matter how thick, cannot hold against presence. Picture now a small animal shivering beneath a tree. It doesn't need you to shout. It needs you to sit quietly nearby, to show it there is no danger. You are that companion. You are that safe presence. For the fear inside you, be that calm watcher. Just sit. Just breathe. No expectations. No rush. Feel how your breath moves through the fear. Not around it, not above it, but through. You are not escaping. You are integrating. And this changes everything. Because now, fear is no longer the enemy. It is the student. It is something that teaches you where you are still holding, still grasping, still doubting. And when you sit with it, you learn. Not intellectually, but deeply wordlessly. You learn that fear is not a signal to run, but an invitation to return to the body, to the breath, to the moment. Let yourself return now, gently, slowly. Inhale and feel the cool air enter your nose. Exhale and let it leave without force. Each breath, a reminder, you are here, you are still, and you are safe. Thoughts may rise, memories may stir, but you are no longer trying to flee. You are anchored. And fear, like a wave meeting the shore, has nowhere to crash but into calmness. Over time, this practice becomes second nature. The fear still comes, but you no longer collapse. You no longer bolt. You stay. And in staying, you begin to feel how small it really is. Not insignificant, but no longer a storm. More like a breeze, a whisper, something to acknowledge and release. So tonight, let fear be just that, a whisper passing through a quiet room. You don't need to answer. You don't need to follow. You just need to sit and breathe and be. Karma is action, not punishment. The fear you carry, the heaviness that creeps in when the night is still, often comes from misunderstanding. Somewhere inside, a quiet voice may whisper, "This is happening because I deserve it. This is my punishment. I must have done something wrong." But that voice does not speak with wisdom. It speaks from confusion. Karma is not a sentence passed down from the universe, nor is it a shadow stalking your every move. It is simply the unfolding of cause and effect, a natural law as gentle and impartial as gravity. You drop a stone into water and ripples form. You speak with anger and tension arises. You act with compassion and peace follows. It is not reward or revenge. It is response. And once you understand this, fear begins to lift. Because the future is not carved into stone. It is created moment by moment through your choices, your awareness, your intention. You are not the prisoner of some invisible judgment. You are the gardener planting seeds each day. And tonight, the seeds you plant are made of breath, of stillness, of presence. Each inhale is a step out of old patterns. Each exhale is a release of past confusion. In the teachings of the Buddha, karma is described not as fate, but as energy. What you set in motion continues unless transformed by mindful attention. And so as you lie here, feeling the soft rhythm of your breath, let go of the belief that fear is some kind of deserved suffering. Let go of the notion that your fear is proof of guilt. Fear comes from many places: habit memory, misperception. But it is not a divine punishment. It is simply a ripple, a result of old winds. And now you can choose a new breeze. Breathe in. Feel the air entering your body like fresh possibility. Breathe out. Let the old self-image, the one weighed down by shame, begin to melt. You are not your mistakes. You are not the past frozen in time. You are the living continuation of countless moments. And in this moment, you can choose peace. Imagine a lantern floating on a quiet lake. That lantern holds your fear, your guilt, your confusion. But the water beneath it is still deep and vast. That water is your awareness. And awareness does not judge. It simply holds. Let the lantern drift. Let it move with the current of breath. You do not have to hold it anymore. You do not need to clutch the fear of what might return. Yes, your past choices have shaped parts of your path. But karma is not the past. It is the way the present moves forward. And right now, in the stillness of this night, in the gentle surrender of your body to sleep, you are shaping something new. Not by force, not to by perfection, but by choosing not to feed the fear. You may remember something you regret. That's natural. You may feel a twinge in your heart, a whisper that says, "I wish I had done differently." That is the voice of growth, not punishment, not doom, but wisdom arising. Welcome it. Let it sit beside you. Let it speak without shame. Then breathe. Say gently in your heart, I see the causes. I accept the effects. I choose the next step with care. This is karma in its purest form. Conscious action, not fearful reactivity. Let that truth hold you. Let it loosen the tight places in your chest. Let it uncoil the worry that something bad will come simply because you are not perfect. No one is. Not even the Buddhas of old. Their peace did not come from spotless records. It came from deep seeing, deep surrender, and deep compassion. And you are capable of the same. You don't need to carry the weight of imagined punishment. You don't need to live as though fear is your debt to pay. Tonight, offer yourself mercy. Let karma be a teacher, not a sentence. Let each breath be an act of kindness. Each moment of awareness is a turning, a redirection, a planting of new seeds. And when fear tries to rise, whisper back, this is not punishment. This is just a moment. I can choose how I meet it. Let your body soften in that truth. Let your thoughts float gently away. Let sleep come not as escape, but as the flowering of trust. Karma is not a shadow, it is a path. And you are walking it breath by breath with eyes slowly opening to the peace that has always waited underneath. The mind craves safety, but life flows. You've likely felt it many times, the urge to plan every step, to lock in every outcome, to make the unknown known, so that nothing can surprise you, so that nothing can hurt you. That craving for certainty is not weakness. It's the mind's natural response to fear. It wants to protect you. It wants to wrap you in layers of control, so nothing sharp can pierce your skin. No grief can catch you off guard. But life does not live in straight lines or airtight plans. Life flows. It moves like water, curving, shifting unexpected. The more you try to freeze it into something fixed, the more it slips through your fingers. And the tighter you grip, the more fear grows. Fear thrives in the cracks between what is and what you think should be. When the mind insists that life must stay still, and life continues moving, fear is born. But there is another way, a softer way, one where you don't have to harden yourself against life, but instead learn to move with it. Let your breath guide you there. Inhale, exhale. No two breaths are ever the same. You don't panic because each inhale is a little different from the last. You trust the rhythm even when it varies. And in that same way, you can learn to trust life. It doesn't need to follow your blueprint to be safe. It doesn't need to promise you every answer before you take the next step. Like a river, it will carry you if you stop fighting the current. Imagine now you are sitting by that river, its surface shimmering beneath moonlight. You watch how it bends around rocks, how it finds its way, not by pushing, but by yielding. That's the wisdom of water. That's the wisdom your soul remembers when you let go of control. Breathe again. Feel the places in your body where you are still resisting your shoulders, perhaps your jaw, your hips. These are the places where the mind has passed its message. Brace yourself. Don't trust. Hold on tight. But the message is outdated. The danger is not now. The fear is not real in this moment. The river is calm, and you are safe. Begin to release. Let go of bracing. Let go of preparing for what hasn't come. Each breath is a permission slip. You may relax now. You may flow. In Zen, it is said that the reeds do not break in the wind because they bend. Trees that resist the storm are the ones that fall. But those that sway and yield, they remain rooted. Your mind might not like this. It wants rules, steps, guarantees. It wants to know that if you do everything right, nothing bad will happen. But life does not operate on transactions. It dances. And your safety does not come from knowing. It comes from being present. It comes from breathing through the unknown instead of fearing it. Think of all the moments you feared would destroy you, and yet you are still here. You are still breathing. Life carried you then, even when you didn't see how. It will carry you now. You don't need to fight the flow. You don't need to prepare for every wave. You only need to stay in your boat, breathe, and trust the water to hold you. Even fear, when allowed to exist without judgment, becomes part of the river. It loses its jaggedness. It becomes part of the current. And soon, it is just movement, just passing, just the sound of something going by. Let the flow soothe you now. Let your mind stop trying to control the future. Let it rest. There is nothing to fix, nothing to solve, nothing to brace for. Life is not coming at you. It's happening through you. You are not separate from the river. You are made of the same water. So flow. Let go of needing every answer. Let go of needing to feel ready. Let go of needing to understand. The mind may still whisper, "What if?" But now you answer, "Then I will flow with that too." And peace returns, not as a reward, but as your nature uncovered at last. Let it surround you. Let it carry you deeper into rest. You don't need to protect yourself from life. You need only to meet it with softness. Let go of what-if stories. They come quietly at first, like whispers in the back of your mind, soft and seemingly innocent. What if I fail? What if they leave? What if something terrible happens while I'm asleep? And before you notice, these tiny seeds have taken root, branching into forests of worry, looping endlessly like restless wind through the trees of your thoughts. These stories feel urgent, convincing, important. They dress themselves in logic, in caution, in preparedness. But they are not truth. They are not prophecy. They are just mental noise dressed up in fear. And tonight, as you lie still, as your breath slows, and the world softens, you are invited to do something different. You are invited to let the what-ifs drift away like leaves carried off by the river of your breath. Begin by noticing them, not fighting, not judging, just noticing. A thought arises. What if tomorrow something goes wrong? You see it, you nod, and you breathe. That's it. That's enough. Because every what-if story requires your attention to grow. Without it, it cannot survive. The mind spins these tales to keep you feeling safe, to feel in control, to feel prepared. But in truth, these stories only pull you away from now, and now is the only place where peace lives. In the Zen tradition, the future is not feared, it is simply not grasped. because it doesn't exist yet. It has no shape. It cannot be known. And so it is not yours to hold. Just as a tree does not worry about tomorrow's storm, you too can stand rooted in this moment, trusting that you will bend when needed, that you will rise again if shaken. What if is a ghost of the unknown trying to wear a mask of certainty? But you are wiser than that. You are awake now. You are aware. Let's return to the breath again. Inhale slowly. Feel the air come in. Exhale. Feel the body soften. As thoughts come, watch them with distance. Not as facts, not as threats, just patterns. And patterns can be changed. Each time you breathe with awareness, you interrupt the cycle. Each time you choose to stay with the breath instead of the story, the roots of worry loosen. You may still hear the whispers. What if I get sick? What if they forget me? What if I never feel safe? But now, you are not answering them with fear. You are answering with presence. You are meeting the mind's panic with the body's stillness. And fear cannot hold its form in the warmth of stillness. Think of a child telling a scary story in the dark. It grows more frightening the more attention you give it. But turn on the light, look at it fully, and it becomes nothing more than shadows. Your awareness is that light. Your breath is the switch. Return to it again and again. You don't need to finish every what if. You don't need to reason your way through each one. You don't need to convince yourself that it won't happen. You only need to remember it's just a thought. Not truth, not destiny, just a shape in the mind. And like all shapes, it will pass. There is nothing wrong with you for having these thoughts. The mind is a storyteller. That's its nature. But you are not the story. You are the awareness that listens. You are the silence between the words. And that silence is your refuge. Let it grow now. With each breath, let the space around the thoughts widen. Let them float farther away, like boats untied from the dock, drifting into the night. You remain on the shore, peaceful, grounded, untouched. You do not need to chase. You do not need to warn. You do not need to fix what hasn't happened. Let go. Let go of trying to plan for every pain. Let go of trying to solve what isn't real. Let go of needing life to follow your script. Let yourself be surprised. Let yourself be unguarded. Let yourself rest. The what-ifs will always try to return. But now you have a new way. You greet them with a smile and silence. You breathe. You remain. And they drift. Just like the sky never clings to the clouds, you no longer cling to fear's stories. And in that gentle letting go, sleep finds you. Not as an escape, but as a deep homecoming. Non-self, you're not a fixed identity. This may be the most liberating truth, and yet the most misunderstood. The fear you carry so often clings to a tightly held image of who you think you are or who you think you must be. You feel afraid of failing because you believe you are the one who must always succeed. You feel anxious about rejection because you have come to believe you are the one who must always be loved. But what if all those labels, all those ideas of yourself were just illusions, changing masks worn by something deeper, something spacious, something untouched by fear? In Buddhism, The teaching of anatta, or non-self, reminds us that what we call self is just a collection of shifting processes, thoughts, feelings, memories, sensations. There is no fixed you to protect, no permanent self to defend. And when that is seen clearly, fear begins to dissolve, not because danger disappears, but because the one who was clinging so tightly to identity is no longer so rigid. You become like water again, flexible, adapting, alive. Let your breath remind you, now, you are not a name, not a title, not a past. You are breath rising and falling. You are awareness watching it all. You are not the fear. You are the space in which fear arises and fades. If a thought comes saying, I can't handle this, notice who is speaking. Is it your deepest truth, or just a habit formed long ago? Is it the voice of the present, or the echo of a childhood moment? A societal pressure, a misunderstood memory. You are not bound to that voice. You are not defined by it. Let it speak, then let it go. The self you think you are, this solid, unchanging thing, is just a construction of the mind, like a character in a dream. And dreams shift, identities shift, you shift. So why fear what may happen to a version of you that is already changing? Imagine now that your identity is like clothing, something you wear for a time, useful in its moment, but not who you truly are. You wouldn't grieve when you outgrow a shirt. You wouldn't panic when the weather asks you to change your layers. So too with the masks you wear, the roles, the reputations, the definitions. They are not you. They are experiences passing through awareness. They are tools, not truths. And as each one fades, something more spacious emerges. You may have once thought you were fragile, but tonight, feel how wide you are, how open, how quiet. You do not need to be anyone. You only need to be here. And here, there is no self to protect, only presence to embody. Let your shoulders drop. Let the mask fall away. No more pretending, no more performing. Just breath, just stillness, just now. The fear of loss softens when you realize you are not the thing being lost. The fear of judgment melts when you see there is no fixed self to defend. You are a wave in the ocean, unique, yes, but never separate. The ocean does not fear the crashing of its wave. It only moves and moves again. Inhale gently. Exhale softly. Feel how you expand beyond the edges of the skin, beyond thought, beyond name. This is what the Zen masters knew, not as theory, but as experience. Sit still long enough, breathe deeply enough, and you begin to see the illusion unravel. The tight identity dissolves. And what remains is not emptiness, as absence. It is fullness without form. You are not this or that. You simply are, and that is enough. Let fear pass through you now. There is no you for it to cling to. Like wind through bamboo, it whistles for a moment, then moves on. Like smoke in sunlight, it dances, then disappears. You remain unmoved. You remain undefined. You remain free. Non-self is not a loss. It is a return, a remembering of what was never bound, never broken, never afraid. Let the night hold you in that remembrance. Let sleep come to the one who no longer needs to prove or hide or strive. Let yourself disappear, and in doing so, finally rest. The body speaks. Listen without judgment. So often, you treat your body as a separate thing, as a machine, to be pushed, ignored, disciplined into silence. But it has always been trying to speak to you. Beneath the tension in your shoulders, beneath the ache in your stomach, beneath the weight in your chest, there is a voice. Not a loud one, not a logical one. A quiet, wordless language of sensation. A language that never lies. And tonight, as you lie still safe and quiet in the folds of sleep's gentle arms, you are invited to listen. Not to analyze, not to fix, but simply to listen. What is your body telling you? What does fear feel like? Not in theory, but in your flesh, your breath, your bones. Perhaps your jaw is clenched without you realizing. Perhaps your fists curl. Perhaps your shoulders are subtly lifted as if bracing for something unseen. Notice just that. Notice with no blame, no story, no urgency. Because the body remembers. It holds everything the mind cannot resolve. Every not now emotion, every swallowed cry, every moment you had to stay strong, it all finds a home in the body. But it doesn't stay stuck forever. When given space, when given kindness, the body begins to let go. Not with force, with trust, with presence. Begin now with your breath. Inhale softly. Exhale fully. As you breathe, shift your attention to your feet. Feel their weight against the bed. Are they tense, curled? Can you allow them to rest just a little more? Let them grow heavy. Let them sink. Then move to your calves, your knees, your thighs. Scan slowly, gently, not looking for problems, just being curious. Where is their ease? Where is their tightness? No judgment, no fixing, just awareness. Awareness is the healer. And now, your belly. So often, we tighten our bellies without knowing, trying to hold ourselves together, trying to control. Let your belly soften. Let it rise and fall without effort. There is nothing to hold in. There is no mask to wear here. This is your private temple. This is your return. Move to your chest. How is your heart, not emotionally, physically? Is there space? Is there constriction? Just breathe into it, not to change it, to witness it. And your shoulders, can they fall? Can they stop holding the weight of your day? The body carries what the heart is too tired to feel. But tonight, you are not too tired. You are ready to feel without fear. Even discomfort becomes softer when touched with awareness. Move to your hands, open or closed, heavy or restless. Just notice. Your body is not wrong. It is not a problem to solve. It is a messenger. Fear often arrives here first before you think, before you name. A sudden tightness, a shallow breath, a quickened heartbeat. And yet we often ignore it, rush past it, try to silence it. But what if you paused? What if you let your body be what it is instead of what you wish it were? That is compassion. Not only for others, but for yourself. Let compassion wrap around your body now like a warm blanket. You don't need to understand every sensation. You only need to stay. Stay present. Stay open. Stay with it. Even trembling is not the enemy. Even restlessness is part of the dance. The Buddha did not teach the rejection of the body. He taught the full inhabiting of it. He sat with pain. He sat with pleasure. He noticed. And through that noticing, he was free. You too can be free. Not when your body is perfect. Not when all sensations are pleasant. But when you no longer run. When you no longer judge. Breathe deeper now. You may find emotions surfacing: grief, sadness, vulnerability. This is not regression. This is release. The body lets go when it feels safe. And safety comes from being seen. You are now the one seeing. Not with a critical eye, but with a gaze like the moon, gentle, consistent, never forcing. The body blooms under that light. It unwinds. It trusts. So, if your chest heaves, let it. If tears come, let them. Let. If you feel nothing, that too is welcome. Nothing to chase. Nothing to push away. Just this moment. Just this breath. The Zen path is often called the path of returning. Not going somewhere new, but returning to what's already here. The breath, the body, the knowing. Return now to the crown of your head. Gently notice any tightness in your forehead, your scalp, your eyes. Let them melt. The muscles around your eyes may have been holding years of unshed tears. Let them rest. Let your tongue rest on the floor of your mouth. Let your neck soften. There is nothing to guard against now. You are not being watched. You are not being tested. You are simply allowed to be. Feel how your body responds to this permission. Like a flower that blooms not from pressure, but from sunlight. Like a lake that calms when the wind stops pushing. That calm lives in you. Under the noise, beneath the tension. It has always been there, waiting to be felt. You are not separate from your body. You are not at war with it. You are it. You are the breath, the pulse, the warmth. The body is your first home. Let yourself come home now. With gentleness, with kindness, with breath. You do not need to earn peace. You do not need to perform healing. Just by being here, just by breathing with awareness, you are already healing. The body listens, and now you are finally listening too. No more silencing. No more rushing. Just presence. Just this. Just now. And as you drift towards sleep, let the wisdom of the body carry you. Let it rock you gently like waves cradling a boat. Let it speak in dreams, in stillness, in the language of quiet repair. Fear cannot survive in a body that is truly seen. It loses its grip when there is nothing left to resist. So, relax deeper, trust more, and know that even in your sleep, your body continues its sacred work of restoration. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are breathing. You are listening. And that is enough. Be like water, not a wall. That is the way of nature. That is the way of peace. Water does not resist what comes. It does not try to control what it touches. It moves around the stone. It flows through the cracks. It accepts the shape of every container without losing its essence. And in doing so, it shapes mountains, wears down obstacles, nourishes the earth. Fear thrives in resistance. It feeds on the walls you build to protect yourself, walls of tension, of overthinking, of emotional armor. But the more you harden, the more brittle you become. The more you try to block life, the more it piles against you like a river pressing on a dam. Eventually, the pressure breaks you. But if you become water, if you let yourself move with what is instead of against it, then you are never broken. You are simply changed. And change is not the enemy. As you lie still now, safe and quiet beneath the dark sky of night, allow yourself to remember the fluid nature of your being. Your breath always in motion, your thoughts always drifting, your emotions waves rising and falling. You were never meant to be static. You were meant to move. Let your breath be your first current. Inhale. Feel the expansion soft and round. Exhale. Feel the letting go, like water receding from the shore. That's it. No need to force the rhythm. It's already there. You are already flowing. Even sleep is not a shutting down. It is a transformation, a softening, a passage. Let yourself soften now. Let your body be water. Let your fear be the rock it flows around. When a feeling arises, tension, uncertainty, grief, don't brace. Don't build a wall to keep it out. Instead, flow with it. Notice its shape. Move around it. Let it pass. In Zen, this is called non-resistance. Not weakness, not passivity, but intelligent yielding. The kind of strength that knows how to bend without breaking. Picture bamboo in the wind. It sways, it leans, it dances, but it does not fall. That is your nature too. You are not meant to carry everything alone. You are not made to bear the weight of the world with a frozen face and clenched fists. Your softness is not your flaw. It is your doorway to resilience. Water never questions the path ahead. It simply follows gravity. It surrenders to what is. And yet it always finds its way. You don't need to know how this night will unfold. You don't need to know how tomorrow will greet you. You only need to stay fluid. Let go of trying to hold everything still. That effort, that tightening, that constant need to fix those are the walls. Let them fall. Let your thoughts move like ripples in a pond, arriving, expanding, dissolving. No judgment, no effort, just motion, just breath. When fear appears, do not freeze. Freezing is the old pattern, the pattern of stone. But now you remember the pattern of water. You feel the emotion rise. You breathe with it. You allow it to crest. You watch it fall. That is the dance. That is the wisdom. Even now, the cells of your body are shifting. The blood is flowing. The nerves are communicating. Everything in you is moving, adapting, healing. Why should your spirit be different? Let it move. Let it change shape. You may not be who you were yesterday. That is natural. Water never mourns its last form. It just becomes what is needed now. Tonight, let yourself become what is needed. A still pool, a gentle current, a soft rain. Whatever the moment calls for, trust that you can meet it without resistance. That's where peace lives, not in the fight, but in the flow. Soften your jaw. Unclench your hands. Let your chest rise like a wave. Let it fall like a sigh. This is the rhythm of surrender. This is the heartbeat of life. No longer a wall holding fear at bay, but a river carrying it safely through. The body responds to this softness. The mind follows. The nervous system begins to settle like sediment in a stream, slowly finding the bottom. And the fear that once felt like a boulder in your chest now feels like a pebble gently moved by the current of your presence. Not gone, perhaps, but no longer heavy. No longer stuck. No longer defining you. You are not fear. You are the water that holds it and lets it go. You are the ocean, not the storm. Even if waves rise again, even if thoughts return in the night, you now know the way. Soften, breathe, flow. Let that be your mantra. Soften, breathe, flow. Say it silently as you exhale. Let it melt into your body. Let it guide you into deeper rest. This is not a fight you need to win. This is a current you need to trust. And as you drift further into sleep, feel yourself becoming more fluid, more at ease, more in tune with the way of things. No more walls, no more resistance. Only water, only movement, only peace. Desire and fear are twins. They may wear different faces, whisper different words, but at their root, they are born of the same soil attachment. What you long for, you also fear losing. What you chase with trembling hope, you guard with anxious fists. The moment you believe something outside of you will complete, you make you whole, make you safe. The fear of its loss begins to grow in secret corners of your heart. And that fear, subtle lingering, shapes how you breathe, how you move, how you lie awake at night. But tonight is different. Tonight, in this stillness, you begin to see clearly. Begin to feel the hidden knots. Begin to soften them, not by cutting them, not by pulling, but simply by seeing fully, gently with presence. Breathe now. Not to chase something, not to run from something, just to return. Inhale and feel the air enter without needing anything more. Exhale and feel yourself release the grip of becoming, if only for this moment. Desire is not wrong. It is natural to want warmth, connection, ease. But desire becomes suffering when it hardens into clinging, when it says, I cannot be okay unless this is mine. And fear follows whispering. What if it's taken? What if I lose it? You may recognize that voice. Maybe you've heard it in love, in success, in reputation. Maybe you felt the quickening of your heart, the tightening of your chest when something precious seemed to slip beyond your grasp. But the Zen path offers a different way. Not denial of longing, but freedom from the prison of needing. Imagine holding water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. But if you open your palms, if you let the water rest lightly, it stays. It cools you. It reflects the sky. Let your breath be that open palm tonight. Let what you love be held gently, not owned, because nothing can truly be possessed. Not people, not moments, not even peace. Everything is borrowed. Everything flows. And this knowing is not sorrow. It is grace. In letting go of ownership, you make space for appreciation. You stop fearing the end because you are fully present with the now. Desire says, I want. Fear replies, what if I don't have it? But awareness says, I see. And that seeing is the beginning of freedom. Let yourself see clearly now. What do you cling to most tightly? Whose love feels essential to your worth? What dream feels like a condition for your happiness? Breathe into that place, not to reject it, not to push it away, but to soften the grip. You are allowed to want. You are allowed to dream, but you are also allowed to be free. You are allowed to be whole before, during, and after every chapter. Fear dissolves when you remember that nothing outside of you defines your being. The Buddha taught that craving is the root of suffering, not because wanting is evil, but because it binds us to illusions. It tells us, if I get this, I'll be complete. And then when we get it, it shifts the goalpost. The mind always asks for more, or it clings, panics, tries to protect. And again, suffering returns. But in this breath, in this night, you can choose differently. Not to renounce the world, but to release the illusion that you are incomplete. You are already whole. You are already enough. Picture yourself standing beneath a tree. In your hands, you hold a small bird, delicate, alive. You could clutch it tight, terrified of its flight, but you don't. You hold it gently, knowing it may stay or leave. And either way, you remain the same. That is the posture of peace. That is the stance of inner freedom. The opposite of fear is not control. It is trust. Trust in your own center. Trust that you can survive loss. Trust that joy does not depend on permanence. Let go of needing things to stay. Let go of needing guarantees. Let go of needing love to behave exactly as you wish. Everything that comes will also go. That's not tragedy. That's truth. And within that truth is something softer than all your fears: acceptance. Let acceptance settle in your body now, like warm tea. Let it move through your belly, your chest, your throat. Let it loosen the places where desire has become desperation. Let it unravel the knots of need. You don't need to fix your longing. You only need to see it without fear. When you stop needing, you start loving. Truly, cleanly, freely. And in that space, fear fades like fog under sunlight. The bonds no longer choke. They breathe. Let every breath tonight be a release. Inhale. Feel your heart expand. Exhale. Let the grip loosen. You do not have to hold everything so tightly. You do not have to guard your joy. Let it come. Let it go. Let it return. You remain. You are the space. You are the sky. Desire and fear may pass through, but they are not your essence. Your essence is stillness. Your essence is enough. And as you drift now towards sleep, let this remembering cradle you. You don't need to possess peace. You only need to stop resisting it. Let go. Float. Trust. There is no past, only now. The mind clings to what has already gone. Replaying scenes, reliving conversations, revisiting choices that cannot be touched or changed, like chasing footprints in water. It plays the same moments over and over again, as if by doing so, it might unlock a different outcome. But the past is not a place you can live. It is not a door you can reopen. It is a shadow that vanishes the moment you stop turning toward it. Tonight, as your body rests, as your breath deepens, you are invited to stop looking behind you, to gently turn your face toward the only thing that ever truly exists this moment. This breath, this presence. The past cannot harm you anymore, not unless you invite it back through thought. Not unless you keep feeding it with your energy, your attention, your belief. It does not walk beside you. It lingers only in memory. And memory is not the same as truth. It's a painting done by a nervous hand filled with colors of fear, longing, regret. You don't need to throw it away. You only need to see that it is not real now. It is not happening. It is only thought. And thought is like wind. It moves, it howls, but it cannot touch the core of you unless you lean into it. You are not the person you were. Even your body has changed since those moments. Skin cells have turned over. Your heart has pumped millions of beats. Time has moved you forward, even if your mind stayed behind. But now, you are allowed to catch up. You are allowed to arrive in the present. Not to forget, but to stop carrying what no longer lives. Breathe into that. Inhale and feel the aliveness of now. Exhale and release what no longer fits. Perhaps you made a mistake. Perhaps someone hurt you. Perhaps you wish it had been different. That's okay. That's human. The mind is built to remember, but your awareness is built to release. Let it do that now. Imagine that your past is written on sand, and your breath is the tide. Each exhale washes over the shore, gently erasing the sharp edges. You do not need to dig it up. You do not need to bury it either. Just let the waves smooth it out. Soften it. Transform it. Let the body feel what the mind has held. You might notice tension in your chest, a heaviness behind your eyes, a familiar ache in your stomach. These are echoes. They are not dangerous. They are simply the body remembering. And now that you are present, now that you are here, you can help it let go. No need to name every memory. No need to analyze. Just breathe into the places where the past still lingers and remind yourself, I am not there anymore. I am here. I am safe. I am breathing. The present moment is gentle. It does not demand. It does not accuse. It does not replay. It welcomes you like open arms. It holds no record of wrong. It is simply here. When the Buddha taught mindfulness, he did not mean thinking about life, he meant being inside it. Feeling the breath, hearing the sounds, noticing sensations. That is your temple now. This moment, this breath, everything else is a dream you can wake from. Come back, again and again. Come back, not with force, with tenderness. The mind may wander, let it. Gently guide it home. This is the path of practice. Not perfection, but return. Return to what is real. Return to what is now. If a painful memory arises, you do not have to fight it. Let it pass like a cloud. Let it lose its form. It cannot survive in the clear light of presence. You are not betraying your past by letting it go. You are honoring your growth. You are choosing peace over punishment. You are choosing life. And life only happens here. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, but now. Let your breath become the bridge. Inhale, arrive. Exhale, release. You may even whisper inside, "Now is enough." Let that phrase settle deep into your belly. Let it cradle you. Let it rock you like a lullaby. Now is enough. You don't need to go back. You don't need to fix it all. You don't need to carry it into sleep. The past has had its say. You have listened. You have learned. Now you are free to rest. Let your body trust that. Let your thoughts float. Let your chest rise and fall like a gentle tide. There is no urgency. There is no test. There is only this warmth breath stillness. The mind will try again, of course. It will search for old pain. It will try to solve a puzzle that no longer exists. Smile at it. Say softly, "I'm here now," and return. Again and again, return. Because that is the work of healing, not to erase, but to stop reliving. Not to forget, but to stop returning. Let yourself sleep inside this truth. You are no longer in the place where that fear began. You are no longer the version of yourself who didn't know what you know now. You are held. You are healing. You are here. And here is where peace lives, not waiting, not hiding, but blooming quietly beneath your breath. Let the bell ring. Let it fade. Not every sound is meant to be captured. Not every thought held onto. Not every feeling clung to. Some things are meant to arise, to echo gently through the space of your mind, and then just as naturally as they came to disappear. Fear, too, is like that. It rings out suddenly, sometimes like a bell struck without warning. The vibration shakes your chest, your stomach, your thoughts, but it does not last forever. No bell rings endlessly. It reverberates, softens, dissolves into silence. And what remains after is presence, is stillness, is you. The problem is never the ringing. The problem begins when you resist the sound, when you brace against the echo, when you cover your ears and say, "I cannot bear this." But you can. You've survived the sound of fear before. And tonight, instead of pushing it away, you will allow it to ring and fade without holding it in place. Take a breath now. Inhale, long and steady. Exhale, gentle and full. Let this breath be the space in which fear echoes and then leaves. Let your awareness be the room where the bell sounds and then settles. Zen monks sit in sheds not to escape noise, but to hear more clearly. They let the sounds of the world come and go. The crow's caw, the rain on the roof, the bell from the far temple. Each sound arises and then vanishes. And so does every emotion, every panic, every intrusive thought. So tonight, if fear arises like a sudden sound in the darkness, do not startle. Do not flinch. Let it come. Let it ring. And then let it fade. You don't need to chase silence. You only need to stop chasing noise. Let the space between each breath widen. Let the space between each thought stretch. That space is where peace lives, not in the absence of sensation, but in the lack of attachment to it. The bell rings, you hear it, you breathe, and then it's gone. No resistance, no chasing, no grasping. You are not the bell. You are not even the sound. You are the one who listens. And the one who listens does not cling. Picture a still lake. A stone drops a thought, a fear, a memory. Ripples form. They move outward. They pass. The lake returns to stillness. That is your nature. Not rigid, not reactive, but responsive and ever capable of returning to calm. Even if the stone was sharp, even if the ripples were strong, the calm returns, and it returns more easily when you stop trying to stop the ripples. Let them be. Let them play. Let them pass. The bell has already rung. Don't hold the sound in your chest. Don't rehearse it. Replay it. Try to predict the next strike. There is no next moment yet. There is only this one. And in this one, you are safe. You are breathing. You are held. Let your thoughts come and go like echoes in a canyon. Let your fears arrive and dissolve like the mist. You are not here to catch every sound. You are here to rest in the silence that holds them all. When fear rings loud, the mind tightens. It tries to understand, to fix, to protect. But what if protection comes not from fixing, but from allowing? Allow the bell. Allow the ring. And then allow it to fade. Feel your shoulders now. Are they still bracing for another sound? Soften them. Let them drop. Let the body say, "It's okay. We can hear this. We can let it go." Move your attention to your heart. Feel if it's tight, if it's gripping, if it's holding the echo. Now, offer this part of you the breath, not to silence it, but to give it company. The breath doesn't judge. It moves through the body without demand, just like awareness, just like presence. In Zen, we are taught to bow to the sound, not to silence it. When a bell is struck in the temple, the monks do not panic. They do not cover their ears. They pause. They breathe. They let it move through them. That is your invitation now. Be the temple. Let the bell of fear ring through you, not against you. Let it teach you the sound of impermanence. Let it remind you that even the sharpest sound softens. Even the loudest thought fades. What remains is always the same: breath, stillness, presence. These are your anchors. These are your home. So as you breathe now, say to yourself, "I allow the sound." Say, "I am the space it passes through." Say, "I am not the fear. I am not the ringing. I am what remains." Let these words soften the tension around your ribs. Let them calm the trembling under your skin. Let them rock you back into yourself. You do not need to control when or how fear arises. You only need to remember that it cannot stay. Nothing does. Not sorrow, not anxiety, not even joy. Everything moves, everything shifts, and the more you allow it, the more ease returns. Let yourself ease into sleep now with this knowing. Let your breath carry the sound away. Let the mind unclench the body unfold. You are not trapped in any echo. You are not defined by any thought. You are the space where sound becomes silence. You are the one who can listen without fear. You are the quiet beneath the ringing. You are the peace after the noise. Let the bell ring, let it fade, and let yourself rest. The quiet path of mindfulness begins with the smallest step, noticing. Not changing, not fixing, not striving, just noticing. To be mindful is not to force silence upon the mind, but to witness its dance without being swept away by it. To sit beside your thoughts as they whirl and scatter and say to each one, I see you. That's all. Simple, quiet, and in its quietness, profoundly powerful. Tonight, as you rest here cradled by the rhythm of your breath, you are walking that path. Not with your feet, but with your awareness. You are entering the gentle temple of now. The door does not creak. It does not slam. It simply opens. Let it open within you. Let your breath be the floor beneath your feet. Let your body be the space you occupy completely without needing to leave, to escape, to run ahead into thought. Right now, there is nowhere to go, nothing to solve, no one to become. The path is here. The path is presence. Breathe into it. Inhale gently. Exhale fully. Let this breath be the entire world for one moment. Feel how it grounds you, how it asks for nothing, how it simply comes and goes with no resistance, just like a wave kissing the shore, just like a cloud drifting past the moon. Mindfulness is not about success. It's about seeing. If you notice fear, that is mindfulness. If you feel restlessness in your hands and say silently restlessness, that is mindfulness. If your mind races and you don't try to stop it, but instead bow to the truth of it, yes, this is what is present, then you are awake in that moment. You are not a problem to solve. Your fear is not an intruder to exile. It is just weather. Let it pass. You are the sky. The Zen teachers often say, when walking, just walk. When sitting, just sit. Above all, don't wobble. This doesn't mean perfection. It means presence. When you are here, be here. When your mind wanders, bring it back not harshly, but like guiding a child home. Again and again, gently, kindly. That's the path. You don't need special tools. You don't need to be good at it. The path of mindfulness welcomes everyone, especially those who feel broken, distracted, anxious. Especially you. Because this path is not paved with answers. It is walked in awareness. That means every breath is enough. Every moment of returning is enough. Right now, you may notice your body may be heavy, may be light. You may notice your breath maybe shallow, maybe deep. You may notice sounds outside a distant car, the hum of night. These are all gateways. Mindfulness doesn't ask you to silence them. It invites you to notice them without resistance. In doing so, you shift. Not the world, not the sounds, but your relationship to them. From control to curiosity, from fear to openness, from effort to ease. Now feel into your hands. Are they open or closed? Simply notice. Feel into your mouth. Is your tongue tense or relaxed? Simply notice. Move your attention to your heart, not to interpret it just to feel. Is there tightness, warmth, stillness? Whatever is, there is allowed. This is not a performance. You don't need to impress anyone, not even yourself. You are allowed to be exactly as you are. And in that acceptance, something begins to loosen. Something begins to breathe. The tight grip around the present softens. You remember that you do not need to mold this moment into something else. It is already complete. You are already complete. That's what mindfulness reveals: the wholeness inside the mess, the peace inside the panic, the clarity inside the chaos. All waiting, all here, all now. You may feel your mind drift. It will. That's not a failure. That's the nature of the mind. But you, dear one, are not your thoughts. You are the one who sees them, who returns, who stays awake even in rest. So return now to the breath, to the body, to the gentle stream of this very moment. Let the thoughts flow past like fish in a river. Let them come. Let them go. Let them be. You are not here to stop the stream. You are here to sit beside it. That is enough. That is everything. When fear arises, as it may see, if you can meet it with the same gaze. Noticing, naming, breathing, perhaps silently saying, "Hello, fear, I see you." And then returning, back to breath, back to body, back to now. Over time, this practice becomes a way of living. Not always easy, but always true. The more you notice without judgment, the less power fear holds. Because fear thrives in reactivity. But mindfulness is stillness. And fear cannot shake what does not react. Feel that stillness within you now, not as something you must build, but as something you uncover, layer by layer, breath by breath. Let each breath be an act of remembering. Let each breath be an offering to yourself. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where the path begins. And the path begins now, and now, and now. There is no final arrival. There is only this step, this noticing, this breath. Let that be enough. Let it cradle you into sleep. Let it carry you like a river of presence, gentle and unhurried. You are walking the quiet path. You are walking it with grace. Even lying down, even in stillness, even in sleep, you are on the way. The moon doesn't fear the clouds. It shines regardless of what passes in front of it. Some nights it is full and brilliant, lighting up the ocean, silvering the tips of trees. Other nights, it hides behind veils of mist or disappears entirely into darkness. But it never stops being the moon. Its light is constant, even when unseen. So too is your stillness, your clarity, your peace. The mind may cloud it with thoughts. The heart may tremble with emotion, but none of that erases your light. Tonight, I invite you to rest like the moon, unchanged by the clouds of fear, untouched by the storms of thought. Let your breath be that quiet glow, subtle but steady. You don't need to push the fear away. You don't need to banish the clouds. Just shine beneath them. Just remain. Mindfulness doesn't ask you to fix what passes through your mind. It asks only that you remember what is not passing, the awareness beneath it all. That is who you are, the watcher, the sky, the moon. Even when your thoughts gather like thunder, even when your emotions darken the horizon, your inner light is not gone. It's just temporarily hidden. Just as clouds drift and dissolve, so do feelings, so do fears. Let yourself lie still now in this soft cocoon of breath and night. Let whatever rises in the mind do so without resistance. You may notice the tightness of a thought, the flicker of doubt, the whisper of an old memory. Don't fight it. Don't follow it. Just name it gently, like a bell being struck in the distance. Ah, a thought. Then return. Return to the moonlight within. Return to your breath. Return to the silence beneath the noise. The moon never says, "I must be seen to be real." It trusts its existence without proof. And so must you. You don't need to feel peaceful to be peaceful. You don't need to have silence in the mind to be still. Stillness is not the absence of motion. It is the presence that watches all motion. Right now, you may feel waves. That is okay. Let them move. Let them rise and fall. Underneath you remain, just like the moon, just like the ocean. Let the body rest deeper. Feel your spine lengthen slightly, your belly soften, your face relax. No need to carry anything tonight, no image to uphold, no emotion to master. You are allowed to simply be. Even in your unrest, you can be the moon. There is no need to chase calm. Chasing is motion, and motion stirs more thought. Let calm come to you. Let it find you here, resting in your own truth, in your own quiet. And if it doesn't come tonight, that's okay too. The moon doesn't control the clouds, it just keeps shining. Keep shining, keep breathing. Zen teaches us that our original nature is like the sky, vast, empty, luminous. The storms come and go, but the sky is not harmed. The moon waxes and wanes, but it does not grieve its missing half. It trusts the cycle. It surrenders to time. You too can trust this unfolding. You too can surrender, not as defeat, but as a deeper kind of strength. The strength to remain present even when the moment is cloudy. This is the essence of spiritual endurance. Not dramatic action, but steady presence. Inhale. Feel yourself expand into the night. Exhale. Soften into stillness. Let this rhythm guide you inward, not toward a destination, but toward a remembering. You are not the storm. You are not even the one being rained on. You are the sky itself. Let every thought pass through without needing to hold it. Let every feeling move through the body like weather. You are allowed to observe without reacting. You are allowed to feel without being defined by the feeling. You are allowed to rest even with the clouds overhead, and you are allowed to shine anyway. This is the quiet rebellion of peace. It is not loud. It is not forced. It is the refusal to let fear steal your light. It is the willingness to be whole in the middle of uncertainty. It is the knowing that nothing needs to be perfect for you to be present. As you drift now, deeper into sleep, let this image of the moon settle in your chest. Let it glow behind your ribs. Let it light your breath from the inside out. Let its patience be your own. Let its quiet be your guide. Thoughts may still come. Fears may still visit. That's all right. Clouds are not the end of the sky. They are just passing guests. Let them pass. Let them be. Let them go. And you stay. Breathe, shine, sleep. Every fear points to attachment. Fear is rarely born in a vacuum. It doesn't arrive from nowhere, faceless and formless. It arises from a deep tie to something or someone, something we want to keep, something we cannot bear to lose, something we believe defines us or secures us or completes us. The root of fear is not the unknown itself, but the loss of what we think we know. It's the imagined break in the bond between me and what I hold dear. And tonight, in the calm hush of your resting breath, you are invited not to destroy fear, but to trace it, to gently, patiently follow its thread back to the place where your heart is gripping too tightly. That is the place of attachment, and that is where the soft work begins. Breathe with me, not to erase the feeling, not to run from it, just to stay present with it. Inhale slowly. Feel your chest open. Exhale fully. Feel your shoulders drop. There is no rush, no end to reach. You are simply sitting with the truth, like a candle sitting with the dark. Not fighting it, just illuminating it. Ask yourself quietly now, what am I most afraid of losing? A person, a dream, a version of yourself you've worked so hard to become. You don't need to answer with words. Just feel the shape of the answer in your body. You might notice a tightness, a flutter, a weight. That's okay. That's not failure. That's the sacred doorway. Attachment is not something to be ashamed of. It's a natural part of being human. To love is to care. To care is to hold. But in that holding, we often begin to squeeze, and in the squeezing, we create pain. Fear grows not because we love, but because we believe we cannot survive without what we love. We forget that love by nature is free. We forget that everything we cling to is already changing. And so fear is born not from the truth, but from the illusion of permanence. Zen invites us to love without clinging, to touch life gently, to walk through the world with open palms. Nothing in this world was ever ours to keep. Not the people we adore, not the roles we play, not even the bodies we inhabit. Everything is borrowed. Everything is on loan. And that's not a reason to panic. It's a reason to cherish, a reason to soften, a reason to release the desperate need to hold things still. Imagine you're holding sand in your hands. When you squeeze tightly, the grains slip through your fingers, but if you open your hands, the sand rests there untouched. So too with love. So too with all things that matter. You don't need to bind them in fear. You only need to hold them lightly. Let your breath remind you. Inhale and feel the spaciousness return. Exhale and feel the tension melt. What you fear to lose may still pass. What you fear to face may still arise. But you, your deepest self, remains. Always changing, yes. Always learning, but never lost, never gone. The more you loosen your grip, the more you feel yourself grounded in something deeper than what you own, deeper than what you control. This is the paradox of letting go. The less you cling, the more you belong. To life, to yourself, to the present moment. Let's go deeper now. Picture a tree in autumn. Its leaves are turning gold, crimson, amber. Soon they will fall. Does the tree resist? Does it panic? No. It releases them into the wind, and though it will stand bare through winter, it does not despair. It trusts the cycle. It trusts that spring will come again. And so it lets go. This is the wisdom the trees carry. This is the lesson they offer us each year. What are you afraid to release? What part of your life are you clinging to, hoping it never changes? Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's a sense of certainty. Maybe it's a picture of your future that feels too painful to let go. Let your body answer. Let the breath be your guide. You don't have to force surrender. You only have to be honest about where you are still holding. And then ask, can I soften just a little? Not let go completely. Not all at once. Just soften, one finger at a time, one breath at a time. This is how attachments loosen, gently, respectfully, with compassion for the self that once needed to hold on so tightly. You can thank that self. It was trying to keep you safe. It believed in its own way that clinging would bring peace. And maybe it did for a time. But now, the cost has grown too heavy. Now, you are ready for a different kind of peace, the peace of trust, the peace of release. Not giving up, giving over. Let your body receive that peace now. Let it sink into your bones, your belly, your skin. Feel how your breath becomes more fluid, more steady. Feel how your heart beats without rushing. Nothing to achieve. Nothing to secure. Just this moment. Just this being. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of suffering, not because we should not care, but because we forget the nature of things. We treat what is passing as if it is permanent. We grip what is meant to flow. But when we see clearly, when we meet life as it is, we begin to soften our hold. Not to lose love, but to love better, freer, truer. And when fear comes, and it will, you will no longer mistake it for truth. You will trace it back to the thread of attachment, and you will breathe, and you will smile, and you will let it pass like a breeze through tall grass. Because now you remember nothing you truly are can ever be taken. Everything else was always a guest, and guests come and go. You are the host. You are the space. You are the sky behind the clouds. Rest in that now. Let each breath reaffirm it. Inhale. I am the space. Exhale. I let go. Again and again. Until even the letting go becomes effortless. Until even fear feels like just another wave brushing the shore and slipping away. Sleep now in this truth. Let it hold you. Let it rock you like a gentle tide. Nothing needs to stay for you to be whole. Nothing needs to last for this to matter. Everything is here. Everything is enough. And so are you. Imagine a still lake at dawn. The surface is glass undisturbed, reflecting the sky in perfect silence. But drop a single pebble, and ripples expand across it, reaching far beyond the point of contact. Your mind is that lake, and thoughts, emotions, reactions, they are the pebbles. One sudden word remembered from your day. One face flashing in your memory. One fear from the future, and the water begins to tremble. The stillness is broken. But here is the lesson Zen offers: the lake was never ruined. The disturbance is not a flaw. It is part of the nature of water to move when touched. Stillness is not the absence of motion. It is the returning, the calm beneath the waves. Tonight, you are invited to return. Not to push the ripples away, but to sit quietly beside them and wait for the stillness to reemerge. It will, because that stillness is your nature. It never left. Inhale slowly, exhale gently. Feel the breath settle like dew on the surface of a calm morning. There is nothing you need to solve right now. The time for fixing is over. This is the hour for being, for remembering that you are not your thoughts. You are not the disturbances. You are the lake. You are the one who sees. Let every worry that arises be like a bird flying over the water, visible, but not altering your depths. It comes, it goes, and the lake remains. The Zen path is not about silencing every ripple. It is about becoming spacious enough to hold them all without fear. The mind may speak, the heart may echo, but you can stay grounded like the earth beneath the water. You can choose not to chase the ripple, not to throw more stones, not to stir what longs to settle. This is your power. This is your peace. Sometimes you may feel swept by emotion, caught in the flood. That's okay. Even rivers overflow. Even skies darken. But the truth never leaves you. Beneath every wave is stillness. Beneath every storm is silence. Beneath every emotion is presence. You don't need to resist anything to find peace. You only need to stop running. Let yourself sit in the middle of the ripple. Feel it. Watch it. Know that it too will fade. No feeling is final. No thought is forever. Everything is moving. Everything is passing. And the more you understand this, the more you will stop fearing the ripples. You will know I can feel without drowning. I can think without believing. I can face the wave and remain the ocean. Bring your attention now to the breath again. Not to control it, but to notice it, feel it arrive, feel it leave. It does this without your effort. It is life moving through you. Trust it. Let it carry you. Let it remind you that everything returns. No need to hold on so tightly. No need to shape the moment. The lake does not grab the rain. It receives it. It becomes it. And then it is still again. You too are capable of such stillness, such gentleness. The world may demand you move fast, fix things, control outcomes. But this moment is not the world. This moment is sacred. This moment is yours. And in this moment, you are allowed to stop, to breathe, to feel, to let every layer of armor melt from your shoulders, to be soft again. When you stop resisting the ripples, you become vast. You become deep. You become unshakable, not because nothing touches you, but because you hold everything with open hands. Fear, joy, grief, laughter. They all have a place in your stillness. You are not a stone. You are not meant to be unmoved. You are the lake. You are meant to reflect the sky, to hold the rain, to ripple and return again and again. Feel into your chest now. Is it tight? Is it open? Just notice. Feel into your jaw. Is it holding? Can you let it drop? Just a little. Now your hands. Are they clenched? Can they soften? These are the ways we return. Not through thoughts, through body, through breath, through presence. The ripples fade when we stop chasing them, when we allow them to come and go, when we stop believing that peace is something we must earn. Peace is already here. Peace is what remains when we stop stirring. So, let yourself still. Let the waves move. Let them be part of you, and let them go. You are doing nothing wrong by feeling. You are not broken because you worry. The mind is a river. It moves. But you are the one sitting on the riverbank, watching it flow. And sometimes, without realizing it, you fall in. That's all right. We all fall in. But now you are climbing out, drying off, sitting back down, watching again. This is the practice. Not perfection, but returning. Not silence, but listening. Not control, but openness. Rest here beside the river, no longer trying to stop it, just breathing beside it, just letting it flow. When you feel the urge to fix something in your mind, pause. Ask, can this wait? When you notice your thoughts racing, whisper, gently come back. And when the mind resists, remind it we are safe. We are here. We are allowed to rest. Over time, you'll see that the ripples don't last. They appear, expand, and dissolve. And beneath them, always is you. Whole, still, clear. You are not too late. You are not behind. This is the path. This is the return. This is the stillness you forgot you had. Welcome back to the lake. Welcome back to yourself. There is a space between stimulus and response. In that space, you have a choice. And in that choice lies your freedom, your peace, your awakening. Most of us move through life reacting to words, to glances, to moods, to memories. A thought appears, and we follow it. A comment strikes us, and we defend. A fear whispers, and we shrink. But in Zen, we are taught to return to that space, that breath of pause, that single, sacred moment between what happens and how we meet it. It is here that freedom lives, not in changing the world outside, but in transforming the world within. Tonight, as you settle into the stillness of your body, I invite you to widen that space, to become aware of the breath between experience and reaction. Let us breathe here together. Inhale, slowly receiving what is. Exhale, gently releasing the need to fix it. Begin to notice how often the mind jumps, how it labels, predicts, defends. That's not a problem. That's just its habit. And tonight, you are learning a new habit: observation without judgment, presence without defense. Imagine this moment as a teacup placed before you. What will you pour into it? Reaction or awareness? The choice is yours, but choice only appears when you slow down enough to see it. Otherwise, life becomes a blur of action and regret. You lash out before you've heard. You pull away before you've felt. You decide before you've known. And so the cycle of suffering continues. But not tonight. Tonight you pause. Tonight you breathe. Tonight you return to the space between. There is great power in doing nothing and not reacting. This is not passivity, it is clarity. It is the warrior's stillness before the battle, the artist's silence before the stroke, the monk's breath before the bell. From this place, your actions can be rooted in wisdom, not fear, in presence, not panic. This is how karma transforms, not by willpower, but by awareness. You begin to interrupt the loop. You feel the rise of anger, and instead of striking, you pause. You sense the grip of anxiety, and instead of fleeing, you breathe. You notice the pull of old stories, and instead of becoming them, you observe. This is freedom. Not escape from life, but intimacy with it. Let us look deeper now. What triggers you? What makes your breath catch, your chest tighten, your mind race? Name it silently. Not to fight it, but to understand it. Often, what triggers us points to an old wound, a place inside that was once unloved, unseen, unheard. And so we react, trying to protect that place. But protection becomes prison when we never examine what we're shielding. Let us bring light to that darkness now. You are safe here. The night holds you. Your breath holds you. Let whatever arises in your heart be met with compassion. No judgment, no shame. You are not bad for feeling. You are not wrong for reacting. But you are ready to grow. And growth means seeing clearly, without flinching, without running. Let the breath guide you deeper. Inhale. Feel the spaciousness return. Exhale. Feel the tension leave. Each breath is a choice. A small return to yourself. Each pause is a doorway. a path to peace. Zen asks us not to suppress emotion, but to see through it, to recognize that anger is a flame hot and bright, but if left unattended, it burns the one who holds it. Fear is a fog, thick and disorienting, but if you stand still, it begins to clear. Jealousy is a thorn sharp and defensive, but if you soften around it, you no longer bleed. All these emotions are visitors, temporary, and you are the host, the still one, the observer, the mountain unmoved by the wind. You do not need to react to every breeze. You do not need to explain your existence to every storm. Let yourself rest in this knowing. You are allowed to feel and not act. You are allowed to sense and not respond. In fact, this is the path of mastery, slowing the moment, creating space, returning to the breath, returning to the witness. That silent part of you that watches the mind chatter, the body twitch, the emotions surge, and says quietly, I see, and I remain. This is your strength, not in controlling the world, but in being unshaken by it. The Buddha faced Mara, the demon of desire, fear, and doubt, not with violence, but with awareness. He said, I see you, Mara, and sat. And Mara disappeared. Because what is seen clearly loses its power. That is your practice now. Not to fight what arises, but to see it. To greet your thoughts like old acquaintances. Hurry, you've come again. Hello, anger. I recognize you. And then to breathe and stay and let them pass like clouds across a vast sky, your mind, vast and blue and endless. Reclaim that space, not by force but by stillness. The more you practice this, the less life will feel like an emergency. You will begin to trust the pause, to cherish it, to live in it. It will become your refuge. And in that refuge, you will no longer be ruled by your reactions. You will act from presence, from love, from truth. Even in the face of chaos, you will be clear. Even in the face of fear, you will be still. This is the gift of the space between. This is the doorway to your freedom. Sleep now in this spaciousness. Let your body remember how to soften. Let your breath widen the gap between thought and response. Let the night deepen your stillness. You are safe here. You are seen. You are the pause. You are the peace. There is a moment just before you fall asleep when the mind begins to dissolve, when the edges of thought blur, and the tight grip of identity loosens. It is a moment both fragile and profound, where the boundary between the waking world and the dreaming one becomes paper thin. In Zen, this space is sacred, not because it is silent, but because it is free. In that moment, you are no longer chasing, no longer proving, no longer becoming. You simply are. Tonight you are invited to rest in that liminal space, not just as a transition, but as a teacher. Because in that space you touch the truth of your being. You remember what it's like to live without effort, to exist without needing to be anything more than this breath, this body, this now. Inhale gently, exhale slowly, and begin to let the surface fall away. What if you didn't need to finish anything tonight? What if you didn't need to fix yourself, or heal faster, or understand more? What if the work of this moment was simply to receive it, to surrender into it like a leaf surrendering to the current of a quiet stream? This is what Zen teaches, not how to control life, but how to trust it. Not how to escape pain, but how to be with it fully, without resistance. You are not asked to be perfect. You are only asked to be present, again and again and again, as many times as it takes. Imagine your thoughts like fireflies dancing in the night, flickering, beautiful, brief. You do not chase them. You do not cage them. You simply let them come and go, knowing the night is vast enough to hold them all. You are the night sky. You are the space in which everything moves. In this space, you are not broken. You are not behind. You are whole exactly as you are. There is nothing to add, nothing to subtract. Only awareness, only breath, only the quiet unfolding of this moment. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands relax. Let your jaw soften. There is no role to play here, no one to impress. You are not a performer on a stage. You are a soul returning to its own presence, a traveler laying down their burdens at the gate. You have traveled far to arrive here, not in distance, but in effort. The striving, the planning, the worrying, it has brought you here to this brink of surrender. And now you have a choice: to fall asleep in exhaustion or to fall asleep in grace. Choose grace. Choose to breathe with reverence as if this moment is holy. Because it is, the world will wait, your to-do list will wait, even your healing will wait. What cannot wait is the invitation to rest, to be, to let the river of Zen carry you without asking where it goes. Trust the current. Trust that you are held, that everything you fear, everything you crave, everything you doubt, none of it defines you. They are waves. You are the ocean. Let that remembering soothe you now. Let it roll through you like a lullaby. You have spent enough time reaching. Now is the time to return. Return to the simplicity of the breath, the quiet rhythm of inhale and exhale, the way your chest rises like a mountain and falls like the tide. This is your anchor. This is your home. In this breath, you are not lost. In this breath, you are not lacking. All is well, even the messy parts, even the parts that haven't made sense yet. They are part of your unfolding. Like petals that haven't bloomed, they are not failures. They are not delays. They are simply not ready. And that's okay. You are allowed to rest even in the middle of the mystery. You are allowed to feel peace even if your questions are unanswered. That is the gift of Zen. Not clarity from the mind, but clarity of the heart. A peace that doesn't depend on solving. A joy that doesn't require perfection. Let your body sink deeper now, into the bed, into the breath, into the safety of this moment. You are not alone. You are accompanied by a lineage of seekers, of monks, of wanderers, who have also sat in the dark, listening to their breath, watching their thoughts rise and fall like smoke. They too have felt lost. They too have longed for rest. And they found it not by escaping life, but by softening into it, by releasing the grip, by saying, "This is enough." Let that be your mantra tonight. This is enough. Not because everything is finished, but because you no longer need to be at war with what is. You can rest in the middle of your becoming. You can rest in the middle of your questions. You can rest now, not later. Now, not when it's perfect. Breathe that in. Let it fill the corners of your body. Let it loosen the old habits of control. You are enough. This moment is enough. And the sleep that awaits you is not an escape. It is a return to your center, a return to the still point beneath all your movement. The Buddha called this stillness nirvana, not a place, but a state of being, a state where the fires of craving, aversion, and delusion have cooled, where you are no longer chasing the next thing or running from the last thing, but simply sitting in the heart of now. Nirvana is not far away. It is not in the mountaintops. It is here, in the softness of your breath, the quietness of your heart, the willingness to be. Let the dream begin, not when you close your eyes, but now, in the moment you decide to release, in the moment you let the night hold you, like a child held in a mother's arms, safe, still, whole. You do not need to try. You do not need to know. You only need to be willing to rest. That willingness is your doorway. Step through it now. Feel how your breath becomes a little slower. Feel how your thoughts become a little more distant. Feel how the edges of your body begin to blur like a candle flickering in mist. This is not the end. This is the beginning of peace, the kind of peace that is not dependent on answers, the kind of peace that whispers, "You are already home." Sleep now. Let the night complete what your waking mind cannot. Let your body mend your spirit, renew your soul, return to stillness. You are not alone. You are not lost. You are the sky. You are the breath. You are the watcher. Rest in that truth. Let it hold you until morning. There is a moment just before you fall asleep when the mind begins to dissolve, when the edges of thought blur and the tight grip of identity loosens. It is a moment both fragile and profound, where the boundary between the waking world and the dreaming one becomes paper thin. In Zen, this space is sacred, not because it is silent, but because it is free. In that moment, you are no longer chasing, no longer proving, no longer becoming. You simply are. Tonight, you are invited to rest in that liminal space, not just as a transition, but as a teacher. Because in that space, you touch the truth of your being. You remember what it's like to live without effort, to exist without needing to be anything more than this breath, this body, this now. Inhale gently, exhale slowly, and begin to let the surface fall away. What if you didn't need to finish anything tonight? What if you didn't need to fix yourself, or heal faster, or understand more? What if the work of this moment was simply to receive it, to surrender into it like a leaf, surrendering to the current of a quiet stream? This is what Zen teaches, not how to control life, but how to trust it. Not how to escape pain, but how to be with it fully, without resistance. You are not asked to be perfect. You are only asked to be present, again and again and again, as many times as it takes. Imagine your thoughts like fireflies dancing in the night, flickering, beautiful, brief. You do not chase them. You do not cage them. You simply let them come and go, knowing the night is vast enough to hold them all. You are the night sky. You are the space in which everything moves. In this space, you are not broken. You are not behind. You are whole exactly as you are. There is nothing to add, nothing to subtract. Only awareness, only breath, only the quiet unfolding of this moment. Let your shoulders drop. Let your hands relax. Let your jaw soften. There is no role to play here, no one to impress. You are not a performer on a stage. You are a soul returning to its own presence, a traveler laying down their burdens at the gate. You have traveled far to arrive here, not in distance, but in effort. The striving, the planning, the worrying, it has brought you here to this brink of surrender. And now you have a choice: to fall asleep in exhaustion or to fall asleep in grace. Choose grace. Choose to breathe with reverence as if this moment is holy, because it is. The world will wait. Your to-do list will wait. Even your healing will wait. What can't wait is the invitation to rest, to be, to let the river of Zen carry you without asking where it goes. Trust the current. Trust that you are held, that everything you fear, everything you crave, everything you doubt, none of it defines you. They are waves. You are the ocean. Let that remembering soothe you now. Let it roll through you like a lullaby. You have spent enough time reaching. Now is the time to return. Return to the simplicity of the breath, the quiet rhythm of inhale and exhale, the way your chest rises like a mountain and falls like the tide. This is your anchor. This is your home. In this breath, you are not lost. In this breath, you are not lacking. All is well, even the messy parts, even the parts that haven't made sense yet. They are part of your unfolding. Like petals that haven't bloomed, they are not failures. They are not delays. They are simply not ready, and that's okay. You are allowed to rest even in the middle of the mystery. You are allowed to feel peace even if your questions are unanswered. That is the gift of Zen, not clarity from the mind, but clarity of the heart. A peace that doesn't depend on solving. A joy that doesn't require perfection. Let your body sink deeper now, into the bed, into the breath, into the safety of this moment. You are not alone. You are accompanied by a lineage of seekers, of monks, of wanderers, who have also sat in the dark, listening to their breath, watching their thoughts rise and fall like smoke. They too have felt lost. They too have longed for rest. And they found it not by escaping life, but by softening into it, by releasing the grip, by saying, "This is enough." Let that be your mantra tonight. This is enough. Not because everything is finished, but because you no longer need to be at war with what is. You can rest in the middle of your becoming. You can rest in the middle of your questions. You can rest now, not later. Now, not when it's perfect. Breathe that in. Let it fill the corners of your body. Let it loosen the old habits of control. You are enough. This moment is enough. And the sleep that awaits you is not an escape. It is a return. A return to your center. A return to the still point beneath all your movement. The Buddha called this stillness nirvana, not a place, but a state of being. A state where the fires of craving, aversion, and delusion have cooled, where you are no longer chasing the next thing or running from the last thing, but simply sitting in the heart of now. Nirvana is not far away. It is not in the mountaintops. It is here, in the softness of your breath, the quietness of your heart, the willingness to be. Let the dream begin, not when you close your eyes, but now. In the moment you decide to release. In the moment you let the night hold you like a child held in a mother's arms. Safe, still, whole. You do not need to try. You do not need to know. You only need to be willing to rest. That willingness is your doorway. Step through it now. Feel how your breath becomes a little slower. Feel how your thoughts become a little more distant. Feel how the edges of your body begin to blur, like a candle flickering in mist. This is not the end. This is the beginning of peace, the kind of peace that is not dependent on answers, the kind of peace that whispers you are already home. Sleep now. Let the night complete what your waking mind cannot. Let your body mend your spirit, renew your soul, return to stillness. You are not alone. You are not lost. You are the sky. You are the breath. You are the watcher. Rest in that truth. Let it hold you until morning. There is a space between stimulus and response. In that space, you have a choice. And in that choice lies your freedom, your peace, your awakening. Most of us move through life reacting to words, to glances, to moods, to memories. A thought appears and we follow it. A comment strikes us and we defend. A fear whispers and we shrink. But in Zen, we are taught to return to that space, that breath of pause, that single sacred moment between what happens and how we meet it. It is here that freedom lives, not in changing the world outside, but in transforming the world within. Tonight, as you settle into the stillness of your body, I invite you to widen that space, to become aware of the breath between experience and reaction. Let us breathe here together. Inhale slowly, receiving what is. Exhale, gently releasing the need to fix it. Begin to notice how often the mind jumps, how it labels, predicts, defends. That's not a problem. That's just its habit. And tonight, you are learning a new habit: observation without judgment. Presence without defense. Imagine this moment as a teacup placed before you. What will you pour into it? Reaction or awareness? The choice is yours. But choice only appears when you slow down enough to see it. Otherwise, life becomes a blur of action and regret. You lash out before you've heard. You pull away before you've felt. You decide before you've known. And so the cycle of suffering continues. But not tonight. Tonight, you pause. Tonight, you breathe. Tonight, you return to the space between. There is great power in doing nothing and not reacting. This is not passivity. It is clarity. It is the warrior's stillness before the battle, the artist's silence before the stroke, the monk's breath before the bell. From this place, your actions can be rooted in wisdom, not fear, in presence, not panic. This is how karma transforms, not by willpower, but by awareness. You begin to interrupt the loop. You feel the rise of anger, and instead of striking, you pause. You sense the grip of anxiety, and instead of fleeing, you breathe. You notice the pull of old stories, and instead of becoming them, you observe. This is freedom. Not escape from life, but intimacy with it. Let us look deeper now. What triggers you? What makes your breath catch, your chest tighten, your mind race? Name it silently. Not to fight it, but to understand it. Often, what triggers us points to an old wound, a place inside that was once unloved, unseen, unheard. And so we react, trying to protect that place. But protection becomes prison when we never examine what we're shielding. Let us bring light to that darkness now. You are safe here. The night holds you. Your breath holds you. Let whatever arises in your heart be met with compassion. No judgment, no shame. You are not bad for feeling. You are not wrong for reacting. But you are ready to grow. And growth means seeing clearly, without flinching, without running. Let the breath guide you deeper. Inhale. Feel the spaciousness return. Exhale. Feel the tension leave. Each breath is a choice. A small return to yourself. Each pause is a doorway, a path to peace. Zen asks us not to suppress emotion, but to see through it, to recognize that anger is a flame hot and bright, but if left unattended, it burns the one who holds it. Fear is a fog thick and disorienting, but if you stand still, it begins to clear. Jealousy is a thorn sharp and defensive, but if you soften around it, you no longer bleed. All these emotions are visitors, temporary, and you are the host, the still one, the observer, the mountain unmoved by the wind. You do not need to react to every breeze. You do not need to explain your existence to every storm. Let yourself rest in this knowing. You are allowed to feel and not act. You are allowed to sense and not respond. In fact, this is the path of mastery. Slowing the moment, creating space, returning to the breath, returning to the witness, that silent part of you that watches the mind chatter, the body twitch, the emotions surge, and says quietly, I see, and I remain. This is your strength, not in controlling the world, but in being unshaken by it. The Buddha faced Mara, the demon of desire, fear, and doubt, not with violence, but with awareness. He said, I see you, Mara, and sat. And Mara disappeared, because what is seen clearly loses its power. That is your practice now, not to fight what arises, but to see it, to greet your thoughts like old acquaintances. Ah, worry, you've come again. Hello, anger, I recognize you. And then to breathe, and stay, and let them pass like clouds across a vast sky, your mind, vast and blue and endless. Reclaim that space, not by force, but by stillness. The more you practice this, the less life will feel like an emergency. You will begin to trust the pause, to cherish it, to live in it. It will become your refuge. And in that refuge, you will no longer be ruled by your reactions. You will act from presence, from love, from truth. Even in the face of chaos, you will be clear. Even in the face of fear, you will be still. This is the gift of the space between. This is the doorway to your freedom. Sleep now in this spaciousness. Let your body remember how to soften. Let your breath widen the gap between thought and response. Let the night deepen your stillness. You are safe here. You are seen. You are the pause. You are the peace. There is a garden within you, quiet and untouched. A place where no storm can reach and no sorrow can linger. It exists not in some faraway realm, but here beneath your thoughts, beneath your worries, beneath the noise you've been taught to believe is you. This garden is ancient. It existed before your name, before your story, before you were told who you should be. And now, in the gentle hush of this night, you are invited to return. Not with effort, not with striving, but with breath, with the softness of being. Inhale slowly, as if drawing in the scent of lotus blooming in still water. Exhale gently, like wind brushing over moss-covered stones. Each breath you take is a step along the garden path. You do not need to know where it leads. You only need to walk. You only need to breathe. Along this path, you may encounter memories, some sweet, some sharp. Let them rise like petals caught in the breeze. Watch them. Welcome them. Then let them float past. You are not here to gather. You are here to empty. The more you release, the closer you come to the center. And at the center of this garden is stillness, not silence, but presence. Not absence, but spaciousness. The kind of quiet that holds everything. The kind of quiet that listens. Feel that quiet wrap around you now, like warm silk, like light filtered through leaves. You do not need to achieve anything in this moment. You are already here. You have already arrived. Let your body remember this arrival. Let your shoulders recall how to soften. Let your spine melt into the ground beneath you. There is nowhere else you need to be, no other version of yourself you need to become. The garden does not ask you to be anything but present. And in this presence, healing begins, not by fixing, but by allowing. Like water soaking into thirsty roots, peace seeps into the places you have long kept hidden. You may feel a tightness ease. You may feel a long-held breath release. This is not coincidence. This is your natural state resurfacing. The body knows how to return. The soul knows how to bloom. We only forget. We forget beneath layers of habit, layers of noise, layers of protection we built to survive. But now, in this moment of rest, you are safe enough to remember. You are safe enough to soften. Let the night be your witness. Let the breath be your prayer. Each inhale says, I am alive. Each exhale says, I let go. There is nothing more sacred than this simplicity, than this honesty. If pain arises, greet it like a guest who has traveled far to reach you. Offer it your presence. Ask it gently, "What do you wish to teach me?" And then listen. Even pain is part of the garden. Even grief has roots. When we stop rejecting what is, we begin to understand what it holds. That anger is often sadness clothed in armor. That fear is often love begging not to be lost. That numbness is the body's cry for rest. You do not need to solve these things. You only need to sit beside them, to breathe beside them, to say, "I see you." And still, I choose to remain. This is the heart of Zen, not changing what is, but transforming how we meet it. You become the space around your experience. You become the sky holding every weather. And when the storm passes, as all storms do you remain. Steady, whole, awake. Feel now into the soles of your feet, even if they rest still. Imagine roots growing downward, deep into the earth. Not to anchor you in heaviness, but to remind you that you belong, that you are held, that even in stillness there is strength. Now feel into the crown of your head, the place where sky meets skin. Imagine a beam of light descending not from above, but from within, rising through your spine, illuminating every cell. This is your knowing. This is your truth. You are not separate from the universe. You are its expression. You are not a guest in this world. You are the breath of the world itself. In this recognition, fear dissolves, not because it is pushed away, but because it is embraced, held like a child, soothed with presence. And in the absence of fear, peace returns. It does not arrive with fanfare. It returns like moonlight, gentle, certain, inevitable. Feel that peace now, in your fingers, in your chest, in your quiet watching mind. You have worked hard to carry your burdens, but now let the garden carry you. Let the breath carry you. Let yourself be carried. In this letting go, you do not disappear. You become more fully yourself. You become the one who watches without judgment, the one who feels without resistance, the one who loves without condition. Rest here. Rest in the being. If thoughts return, let them. If the mind wanders, smile gently and return again. Return not as punishment, but as reunion. Every return is a homecoming. Every breath is a prayer. Every night is an invitation to begin again. So begin again now, with this breath, and this breath, and this one. The garden is open. The gate is unguarded. You may enter. You may rest. You may remember what has always been true, that you are not broken, that you are not alone, that the peace you seek is already within you, waiting to be touched, not with striving, but with stillness. Let that stillness rock you now. Let it hold you. Let it sing to every cell in your body. You are enough. You are enough. You are enough. There is a space inside you where no one else has ever been. It is not touched by the noise of the world, not shaped by your past, not dependent on your future. It simply is. Pure awareness, untouched, unbroken, infinite in its calm. This space is not something you earn. It is something you remember, something you return to when the world has taken too much and your breath has become thin. Tonight, you are guided back to that sacred space, not by force, but by softness. Not through thought, but through stillness. So breathe. Not for control, not for doing, but for remembering. The breath is your key. The breath is your bridge. Let it carry you now, slowly, gently. Each inhale expands your being. Each exhale melts the tension you didn't realize you were holding. This is how you cross the threshold, not by pushing forward, but by letting go. Feel your body begin to dissolve its boundaries as if you are less solid, more sky. This softening is not weakness. It is a return to truth. You were never meant to be hard and guarded all the time. You were born soft. You were born aware. You were born with the ability to feel everything and still remain whole. Somewhere along the way, you were told that stillness meant stagnation, that rest was laziness, that silence was emptiness. But Zen teaches otherwise. Stillness is strength. Rest is wisdom. Silence is presence. Begin to feel into that presence, now the part of you that remains even when everything else falls away. Let your thoughts be like fish swimming through water. You are not the fish. You are the water. Let emotions rise like clouds across the sky. You are not the clouds. You are the vastness they pass through. When you stop chasing the clouds, you begin to see the sky again. That is what this moment is: a clearing, a homecoming, a chance to be here without needing to be anywhere else. You do not need to change anything to be worthy of peace. Peace is not a reward for good behavior. It is your nature. It is what remains when the striving stops. Can you feel that gentle settling, that sacred pause? That is the doorway. Step through it now. Inhale and feel your chest rise like a tide meeting the shore. Exhale and feel it fall back into the sea. The ocean is within you, fluid, deep, eternal. Your surface may ripple, but your depth remains still. Anchor yourself there. Anchor in the knowing that you are more than your stories, more than your worries, more than what the world reflects back to you. You are the one who sees. You are the quiet behind the sound. In that quiet, everything is allowed. The pain you've hidden, the doubt you carry, the dreams you're afraid to speak. Let them all exist here without judgment, without rush. They are part of your human journey. They are not who you are. Like waves, they rise and fall. Like seasons, they come and go. You remain grounded, witnessing, at peace. This is the heart of Zen, not the absence of feeling, but the freedom to feel without becoming. Not the end of thoughts, but the spaciousness to let them pass without grasping. You are not here to win against your mind. You are here to befriend it, to sit beside it as you would a restless child, with patience and love. When the mind pulls you into stories, return, not with frustration, but with kindness. Return as you would return to a warm home after a long day. The path is not linear. The peace is not in the destination. It is in the returning. Again and again. Breathe into your feet. Feel them melt into the floor, into the earth, into the weightless ground of being. There is no place to fall, because there is no separation. You are held, you are safe, you are home. Now bring your awareness to your heart, not as a place of emotion, but as a space of knowing. What truth does your heart whisper tonight? What longing is present beneath the surface? Listen. Do not analyze. Just listen. Sometimes the heart does not speak in words, but in a soft ache, in a deep sigh, in a tear that surprises you. Let it come. Let it say what it has been waiting to say. Your only task is to listen without interruption. This listening is a form of healing. It is how we return the soul to the body, the being to the breath. So stay here, not doing, just being. Let yourself fall into the moment, as if into a soft bed of moss, as if the moment itself is holding you in a deep embrace. If a thought comes, let it drift. If a feeling arises, let it unfold. You are not here to control the river. You are here to rest on its banks and watch it flow. Trust the river. Trust that it knows where it's going, even when you do not. Trust that you are a part of something much larger than your current understanding. That the stillness inside you is not yours alone. It is shared, ancient, universal. This is why, even in your darkest hour, something in you knows how to return to peace. It is not learned. It is remembered. You are remembering now. Not through logic, through breath, through presence, through surrender. The path of Zen is not loud. It does not arrive with drama or grand revelations. It arrives in quiet moments like this, when the world has gone to sleep and the only thing left is the truth. The truth that you are already enough. That nothing outside you can complete you. That the life you seek is not ahead of you. It is here waiting for your attention, waiting for your love. So love it. Love the breath. Love the body. Love the stillness. And when you forget, as you will return again. The path is not broken. The return is the path. Feel the breath enter again. Feel it leave again. Feel your entire being dissolve into this rhythm. There is no rush. There is only this moment, and this one, and this one. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. Rest in that. Breathe in that. Let it cradle you as you drift into the space beyond thought, beyond time, beyond striving. Let sleep take you, not as escape, but as union. Let the night carry you not into dreams, but into truth. Let this be your lullaby. You are safe. You are loved. You are home. Somewhere within the layers of your being lies a memory, not of events, but of essence. A remembrance that you are not this anxiety, not this fear, not this constant movement. That before you learned to rush, to strive to prove you simply were, and being was enough. Tonight, I invite you to return to that simplicity, not as a regression, but as an awakening. Because peace is not a place you arrive at when everything is perfect. Peace is the permission to be as you are. As you inhale now, feel that permission seep through your chest, loosening the knots of pressure, As you exhale, let go of the expectation to perform, to impress, to constantly do. This is not a moment of doing. This is a sacred pause in the long dance of becoming. And in this pause, something deeper can rise: your presence, your quiet knowing, your unshakable core. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a vast lake just before dawn. The air is still. The surface of the water mirrors the sky. This lake is your mind when it is not stirred. This lake is your soul when it is not pulled by the winds of thought. When you no longer need to react, you begin to reflect. You begin to see clearly, not with your eyes, but with your being. There is no urgency here. Just presence, just breath. Let your awareness ripple out across this still water. Notice the subtle shifts in your body, the cooling of your limbs, the softening of your belly, the melting of your brow. This body, too, remembers. It remembers what it feels like to be at ease. It remembers the weightlessness of trust. So let it lead you now, not into sleep as an escape, but into sleep as a return to your most natural rhythm, like the tide coming home to shore, like the moon resuming her place among the stars. You belong in this stillness. You were never meant to be at war with your own mind. You were meant to listen, to feel, to simply be. Feel the space behind your eyes open up, as if your thoughts are dissolving into a wide sky. There is no need to chase anything there, no need to fix or hold or fear. Let thoughts pass like birds across the horizon. Let emotions drift like leaves on a gentle stream. There is nothing you must do with them. Only witness, only stay. In the teachings of Zen, we are reminded again and again, the obstacle is not the thought. It is our resistance to it, our clinging, our aversion. But you are now remembering that even the most painful thought is just a guest. And you are the host, the one who offers a place to rest, but does not identify. The one who says, "I see you," and lets it pass. You are returning to the mountain within you, rooted deep, rising, still unmoved by weather. Let that mountain rise now in your spine, tall and strong. Let your breath spiral around it. Like mist, let each inhale nourish its strength. Let each exhale ground its base. This mountain is not cold. It is warm with aliveness. It pulses with presence. You are not alone here. You are supported by every moment of awareness that has ever been breathed on this earth. You are not the first to feel lost. You are not the first to come home through breath. Generations have walked this path. Masters have sat with the same fears. The Buddha himself touched the earth and said, "This is my witness." So let the earth be your witness now. Feel its quiet weight beneath you, saying without words, you are here, you are held, you are whole. With every breath you sink deeper into that truth. The truth that healing is not a destination. It is a rhythm, a rising and falling, a showing up. Even now, you are healing not because something is wrong, but because you are willing to see, to feel, to stop hiding from yourself. And in that courage, transformation begins. You may not see it yet. That is okay. Bamboo grows underground for years before it pierces the surface. You are growing now, even in stillness. Especially in stillness. Trust this. Trust that your stillness is not empty. It is full of life waiting to unfold, full of wisdom waiting to be remembered, full of light waiting to be seen. Let yourself soften into that trust. Let the breath continue to guide you, not as a technique, but as a friend, as the first sound you ever made, as the last sound you will ever give, and in between as your constant companion. Let it be sacred again. Let it be enough. Now return to your heart. Feel its steady beat. It does not rush. It does not doubt. It simply offers itself again and again. That is love. Not the fleeting feeling, but the steady offering. You too are capable of that love for yourself, for this body that has carried you, for this breath that sustains you, for this moment that holds everything. You are learning to love in stillness, to care without needing to fix, to hold without needing to change. That is compassion. That is presence, and it is enough. You are enough. Right here, right now, nothing to change, nothing to add, nothing to hide. This is the truth Zen whispers beneath all teachings. What you are seeking is already here, but you must become quiet enough to notice it. So, become quiet now. Let every cell listen. Let your skin breathe. Let your soul rest. There is nothing more to do, no one more to become. You can lay it all down, the mask, the armor, the striving. Let it rest beside you like a heavy cloak, and feel how light you truly are, how boundless, how free. Let yourself float in this knowing. Let it cradle you. Let it dissolve all edges. You are not separate from peace. You are peace. You are the stillness you've been chasing, the calm you've been longing for. It has always been within, waiting, watching, loving you from the inside out. Sleep now, not to escape, but to return, to rest in that knowing, to bathe in that truth, to rise tomorrow, not with a new self, but with the same self, finally remembered. You do not need to be fixed. This is the sacred truth that so many forget, buried under the weight of perfectionism, under the burden of past mistakes, and the noise of future fears. You do not need to be fixed, because you are not broken. Yes, you may feel tired. Yes, you may carry old wounds that still whisper in the quiet of night. But what if these wounds are not flaws, but gateways? What if your weariness is not weakness, but a signal that you are ready to rest in truth? Tonight, as the world outside falls deeper into stillness, you are invited to stop trying to become and simply return. Return to the vastness that was never touched by pain, never fragmented by time, never diminished by anyone's opinion. This is the part of you that watches the breath without trying to change it. This is the part that sees sorrow and does not turn away. This is your awakened self, already whole, already home. So breathe now, not to control, but to soften. Inhale gently, as if inviting your being to open. Exhale slowly, as if pouring tension from your body into the earth. With each breath, feel yourself melt into the present. Feel the mind unclench, the chest expand, the soul begin to rise. You do not need to earn rest. Rest is your right. You are not made to run endlessly, to chase endlessly, to solve endlessly. You are made to feel, to notice, to be. Zen does not ask you to transcend your life. It asks you to touch it deeply, to taste the fullness of each moment, even the difficult ones, to sit with yourself and say, even this is part of me. And so tonight, sit with yourself in stillness, not to judge, not to plan, but to witness. Let your breath be the soft candlelight that reveals what's truly within. Maybe it is tiredness, maybe it is longing, maybe it is a quiet joy that has been waiting to be felt. Whatever it is, let it be. Let it rise. Let it speak. You are not here to control the river of your experience. You are here to become the river, to surrender to the flow, even when you do not know where it leads. This surrender is not defeat. It is the deepest trust, the kind of trust that says, I no longer need to see the whole path. I only need to take the next breath. So, take it now, and another, and another. Let your body become the rhythm. Let your mind follow. Let your spirit return. Imagine now a vast forest, silent and sacred, the kind of place where time dissolves and only presence remains. You walk barefoot on soft earth. You hear your own breath. Feel your own heartbeat. Sense the aliveness of everything. This forest lives inside you. It is your inner sanctuary, the place you can always return to when the noise gets too loud. With each step, you let go of old stories, of who you thought you had to be, of regrets that no longer serve, of hopes you've outgrown. With each step, you come closer to yourself, not the self others expect, the true self, unchanging, unshaken, unbound. This self does not fear stillness. It thrives in it. It does not crave validation. It is enough in its own presence. Feel into that now, into the quiet power of simply being, into the spaciousness of this moment. There is no demand here, no should, no must, no hurry, just breath, just presence, just truth. Zen teaches that the path is found by walking it. That enlightenment is not a prize, but a return to what has always been. Like waking from a dream and realizing you were never lost, like looking into still water and seeing your reflection clearly for the first time. And in that clarity, something softens, something releases. You stop trying to prove. You stop trying to reach. You simply allow. You allow yourself to be messy, to be uncertain, to be exactly as you are. And in that allowing, you begin to heal. Not through effort, but through honesty. Not through fixing, but through feeling. Let the breath be your guide. Let it move through you like wind, through bamboo, effortless, natural wise. With every breath, you return to your center, to the place inside that never left. This center is not hard or rigid. It is fluid. It is open. It is deeply alive. From here, you can hold anything. pain without becoming it, joy without clinging to it, change without resisting it. From here, you can be with life exactly as it is. Feel the freedom in that. Feel the release. You do not have to keep running. You do not have to keep hiding. You can rest, truly rest. Not just the body, but the mind. Not just the muscles, but the soul. Let go of the armor now. You do not need it here. Let go of the tension in your jaw. Let go of the tightness in your chest. Let go of the thoughts that circle without landing. They will return, but for now, let them go. You are safe in this moment. Safe to be. Safe to feel. Safe to rest. Imagine now that you are surrounded by soft light. It is not coming from outside. It is coming from within. Radiating from your chest, from your breath, from your being. This is your light, your knowing, your essence. And it has never dimmed, only waited. Waited for this moment of stillness. Waited for your presence. Waited for your return. You have returned, and in this return, there is peace. Not the peace of perfect circumstances, the peace of perfect presence, the kind that does not depend on anything changing, the kind that says, I am enough even now. Let that be your mantra tonight. I am enough even now. Whisper it in your heart. Let it echo through your bones. Let it settle into your breath. I am enough even now. This is the truth Zen points to, not with loud declarations, but with quiet presence. Not with grand answers, but with deep questions. What if you stopped running? What if you stopped waiting for life to begin? What if you allowed this moment to be complete? Try that now. Just this breath, just this body, just this stillness. Nothing missing, nothing lacking. You are here, and that is everything. There is a moment in the night when even your thoughts grow tired. They no longer demand answers, no longer spin stories of what could be or what was. They begin to fade like echoes in a vast canyon, softer with each breath. And in that fading, something ancient begins to rise, a silence deeper than quiet, a stillness wiser than words. This is the space where Zen lives, not in theories or scriptures, but in this hush, in this openness, in this gentle now. You do not have to chase it. You only have to stop running. You do not have to understand it. You only have to feel it. Inhale slowly. Let the breath arrive like a visitor you've been waiting for. Exhale fully. Let it leave like a friend who knows you'll meet again. Each breath you take is a softening of the mind, of the heart, of the self you thought you had to be. Zen is not about becoming someone new. It's about seeing clearly who you've always been. And who you are is not a problem to be solved. You are a being to be felt, a soul to be honored, a presence to be lived. In this moment, notice how little you need. Not things, not praise, not certainty. Just this breath, just this stillness, just this truth. You were never meant to carry everything. You were meant to feel everything and let it move through you, like wind through trees, like moonlight over water. There is a part of you that already knows how to do this. the part that never stopped believing in peace, the part that speaks not in thoughts, but in sensations, a loosening in the belly, a warmth in the chest, a lightness behind the eyes. That part is awake now, even as the rest of you begins to sleep. It watches gently. It holds you without effort. It reminds you that even here, in your quietest moments, you are whole. You are not waiting to arrive. You are already home. Somewhere beneath the noise of your thoughts, there is a garden you have always known. A place where the grass is soft with compassion, where every petal opens, not because it is told to, but because it is safe. In this garden, the sky is vast, but gentle, and the wind whispers with kindness. You do not have to create this place. It has been here all along. You only have to arrive. You only have to breathe your way back into it. Right now, in this moment, let that be your direction. Let go of trying to solve your life. Let go of the story of who you've been or who you need to become. None of that matters here. What matters is your presence. What matters is that you showed up for yourself, that you paused long enough to listen not to others, but to the sacred hum within your own heart. As you lie in stillness, imagine stepping into this inner garden. With each breath, the weight on your shoulders dissolves. With each breath, the ache in your chest loosens. With each breath, the confusion in your mind quiets, not because the answers arrived, but because you remembered you are allowed to rest even without them. You are not a problem that needs solving. You are a being worthy of tenderness. In Zen, the deepest teaching is often given without words. A silent gesture, a shared breath, the space between heartbeats. Let this stillness be your teacher now. It does not ask you to know anything. It only asks you to stay, to witness, to open. Let your breath become slower now. Let it sink into the soil of this moment. Let it become a soft rhythm that lulls every part of you back to the present. When your thoughts arise, let them. Do not fight them. Do not shame them. Thoughts are like clouds, they pass, whether you chase them or not. You are the sky. You do not need to react to the passing weather. You simply hold it all without judgment. The fear, the joy, the uncertainty, the calm, they are all allowed here. And you are allowed to change with the wind, to grow, to wilt, to bloom again. This is the way of nature. This is the way of Zen. There is no one path to peace. There is only your path walked in your breath, step by step, now by now. Tonight, your path leads inward, through the forest of your fears, past the echoes of your regrets, into the clearing of your own knowing. You are not lost. You are arriving. With each breath, feel your nervous system soften. The pulse in your neck quiets. The grip in your hands releases. You do not need to hold on anymore. Let the breath hold you. Let the moment hold you. Let yourself fall into trust. Trust that you do not need to understand to belong. Trust that your worth does not require evidence. Trust that your presence is a miracle, even when your mind forgets. Zen reminds us that what you resist persists. So tonight, resist nothing. If sorrow visits you, let it sit beside you. If longing stirs in your chest, offer it tea. If peace tiptoes near, open your arms. Do not grasp. Do not flee. Just stay. Just breathe. Just allow. There is a kind of healing that happens not in doing, but in being. Not in effort, but in surrender. Surrender is not giving up. Surrender is saying yes to what is, to what has been, to what is yet to come. Saying yes with your breath. Saying yes with your softness. Saying yes with your presence. So say yes now. Say yes to rest. Say yes to release. Say yes to the possibility that you are okay just as you are. That you are allowed to stop searching and simply feel. That your healing does not need to be loud. It can be slow. It can be quiet. It can happen in the folds of breath, in the hush of sleep, in the touch of stillness. Let that stillness wrap around you now, like warm fabric on tired skin, like moonlight on a still lake. Let it enter your muscles, your bones, your breath. Let it remind you that you do not have to earn your right to peace. You already have it. It is your birthright. It is your nature. Like the lotus that blooms from mud, your peace can rise even from pain. Let it rise. Let it rise slowly. Let it rise fully. In the teachings of the Buddha, we are reminded again and again, nothing is permanent, not fear, not doubt, not even suffering. All things arise, all things pass. And so tonight, if something heavy stirs in your heart, do not fear it. Just know it is passing. Like waves against a shore, it may crash, but it will recede. You are the shore, steady, patient, ancient. You have survived every wave so far. You will survive this one too. Feel your breath as it comes and goes. Let it rock you. Let it carry you. Let it teach you the rhythm of letting go. You do not need to fix anything tonight. You do not need to be anyone but this breath, this body, this being. And even this will change. That is the beauty. That is the freedom. You are not stuck. You are flowing. You are becoming. But tonight, you do not need to become. You only need to rest. Return to the garden. Return to the silence. Return to the breath. Let every sound outside your window be a lullaby. Let every exhale be a softening. Let the earth hold you as it has always held you. Let sleep take you gently, not as an escape, but as a homecoming. You have walked far. You have felt deeply. You have shown up. And now it is time to let go. Not forever, just for tonight. Let go of effort. Let go of control. Let go of needing to be anything other than here. Here is enough. Now is enough. You are enough. As you close your eyes, know this. You are not alone. You are carried by your breath. You are supported by this earth. You are loved by this life. Let that truth settle in your heart. Let it become the ground you sleep on. Let it become the sky you dream beneath. There is nothing more to do, nothing more to seek. You have arrived. You are safe. You are loved, and you are free to rest. Now, you have come to the final edge of this night's journey. Not a destination, but a soft return to yourself, to the quiet place where nothing needs to happen and everything is already whole. You are lying here, still breathing, not because you must do more, but because you have done enough. In Zen, we learn that the deepest truths arrive in silence. Not the silence of emptiness, but the fullness of being. The silence where the mind no longer argues with life and the heart no longer pleads for more. This is where you are now, in that sacred stillness that asks for no improvement, no striving, no fixing. You are simply here, and that is enough. As the breath continues its gentle rise and fall, allow your awareness to rest deeper inside your body. Feel your face soften, your hands relax, your feet, heavy like roots, gently pressing into the earth. There is no resistance in this place. You are no longer guarding yourself from fear. You are no longer negotiating with the past. You are no longer predicting the future. There is only now, and now is soft. Let each breath be like a wave, brushing against the shore of your being. With each exhale, let go of one more layer of worry, of thought, of identity. With each inhale, welcome presence, welcome trust, welcome spaciousness. In Zen, we do not escape reality. We fall gently into it, like a leaf returning to the stream. You are that leaf, now floating freely, without effort, carried by the current of life. There is no rush, no fear, no destination, just the gentle knowing that you are allowed to rest, that your spirit, like water, finds its own level when undisturbed, that your peace, like the moon, has always been whole, even when partially hidden. Tonight, let that moon rise inside you. Let its light fill your chest. Let it cast a quiet glow over all your thoughts, revealing not chaos, but calm, not confusion, but clarity. You are not broken. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you are meant to be, with this breath, in this body, on this night. Surrender to it. Let the river take you. Let the sky hold you. Let your heart become a temple where no fear is unwelcome, where no feeling is rejected. Zen says, sit, breathe, and observe without judgment. That is your only task now. Breathe gently. Sit in your own presence. Observe whatever arises not as a problem, but as a passing cloud. You do not need to cling. You do not need to push away. Everything changes. Everything flows. And you are the one who witnesses the flow. Even now, as your body grows heavier with sleep, your awareness grows lighter. You drift not into darkness, but into lightness of being, into the open sky of your inner world, where thoughts become stars, twinkling distant, harmless. And you are the whole sky, boundless, quiet, aware. So rest here in your vastness. Let the breath be a lullaby. Let the stillness be a song. Let your soul sing you to sleep. There is nothing more to understand, nothing more to do. You have arrived, dear one. You are home.